Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Benji Finsky alongside my broadcast partner, Ryan McCullough. Our producer engineer tonight is Erwin Perez, and we welcome you to beautiful Burrow Fowler Stadium in Monett, where tonight the Cubs play host to the Strafford Indians out of the Mid-Lakes Conference. Monett, under the guidance of second-year head coach Ben Mock, enters tonight's game 0-1 on the season following last week's 63-34 loss to Nevada. In that game, the Cubs put up over 500 yards of total offense, but they were plagued with 5 turnovers and 17 penalties. Monett will be looking to correct those issues here in Week 2. Strafford, under the guidance of Coach Tim Hester, is coming off a 48-0 loss to Liberty Mountain View. The Indians, who lost 17 seniors from last year's 9-2 team, got off to a rocky start in Week 1. And they'll also be looking to turn things around here tonight. Let's welcome Mr. McCullough into our pregame show. Ryan, it's always great to have you alongside. I have 2 questions for you. Looking back, what are your thoughts about the game 1 week ago, and what do you expect tonight?
Last week, the Cubs still put up 30 points of offense, but they were plagued by turnovers and costly penalties that you just can't have. If you're going to win a game, you can't be very lopsided in the penalty column and the turnover column. You got to be able to correct some of those things. It was a lot of self-inflicted stuff last week, a lot of mental errors that you can fix, and that's one thing Coach Mock said in his press conference. There's nothing that happened last week that looks unfixable. It's all stuff you can clean up very quickly. They're going to have to do that tonight, and they could have a very great win.
You know, the difference between winning and losing always seems to come down to a few things. And as we discuss this, let me remind everyone that tonight's keys to victory are brought to you by Buchanan Funeral Home in Monett, serving Monett and the surrounding area since 1950. They are honored to be part of a rich history within the local community. Ryan, besides the penalties, besides the turnovers, one of the specific things the Cubs can do tonight to get a win?
I would love to see him run the ball a little bit more on offense. You got to see it last week. You have 2 very good running backs for the Cubs. You have Antoine Smith. You have Colin Umflett. They did a very good job toting the rock. So using them in the backfield in the running game and the passing game. And then I got to see on defense wrapping up. That was a real big problem last week with the Cubs. A lot of arm tackling went on, which led to broken tackles. And when you play a team like Nevada, they will run through those. You got to wrap up tonight. You got to bring the man to the ground. I want to see them flying to the football, group tackling when they go at it.
Yeah, and make the Indians march the ball down the field and not give up those big plays.
Absolutely, and you have to win first down. Last week, the Nevada Tigers won on first down. They won the game. The Cubs were constantly playing on their heels and playing from behind. You got to get out ahead tonight, and that starts on first down.
A year ago, these 2 teams matched up in Week 2 up at Strafford. First quarter was a pretty good quarter for both teams, 14-7 if memory serves me right. But then Strafford scored 5 straight touchdowns, and it just snowballed on the Cubs that night. Obviously, the Cubs would like to get that snowball rolling for them.
Absolutely, and the way the Cubs play, you don't really have guys playing both ways, so it's only one side. So if the Cubs get out ahead of you, their guys stay fresh, and that can really fatigue other teams as the game goes on, especially the ones with lower numbers.
Strafford, a very good team last year, but if you remember, every position, offense and defense, was occupied by a senior, which is now graduated.
If I remember correctly, they had 17 seniors on the roster last year, and they had a solid team. But there was a lot of veteran leadership on that team. How have they done replacing those guys, and who has stepped up in those leadership roles?
Their season ended last year in districts. They fell to Mount Vernon in a tight contest. It appears that they're rebuilding this year. They had a rocky start last week at Mountain View. Liberty Mountain View. Liberty, year in and year out, is a very good team. Smaller class school, but a very good team. Strafford trying to put things here together here tonight as well. Again, the keys to victory brought to you by Buchanan Funeral Home. The people there pledge to continue the tradition of trusted performance, providing quality service with compassion and respect. It's the Cubs and the Indians live from Burrow Fowler. It should be an interesting game here tonight. The Freedom Bank kickoff is just 33 minutes away. When we return, Ryan and I will take a look back at last week in the Big 8, and we'll also discuss games on the Week 2 schedule. Stay tuned for more of the Monett Cubs pregame show, brought to you by Rollo Insurance Agent Scott Thrasher. You're following the Monett Cubs on KKBL and the Talon Sports Network. And you're listening to the Monett Cubs on KKBL 95.9 FM in Monett, Missouri. Tonight's pregame show sponsored by Rollo Insurance agent Scott Thrasher. Rollo Insurance supports their clients by securing reasonable premiums, providing complete guidance on insurance coverages, and protecting treasured assets for life. For more information, contact Scott at 417-772-3100. Tonight's pregame scoreboard brought to you by MetaPlans Plus, serving customers for over 25 years. MetaPlans Plus specializes in Medicare and Marketplace health plans. Ryan, as we take a look back 1 week ago tonight, a lot of big scores in the Big 8 Conference. Nevada over Monett 63-34. We've talked about that. Seneca 33-27 over Cassville. What's that tell you about the Wildcats?
Yeah, it tells me the Wildcats are legit this season. And you look back at the Big 8, you see these high scores. And years past, the Big 8 was just kind of a smash-mouth football conference. They were going to run the ball. Not anymore. A lot of air raid styles have made their way to the Big 8, or the teams that do run the ball seem to go more fast. Cassville has been the perfect picture of that, of adopting a fast-paced running style still. And the Wildcats are looking to have a great year.
Mount Vernon and Aurora, a game that went down to the wire in that one. Aurora, playing at home, captured a 32-29 victory and took home the Bell Bowl.
Yeah, took home the trophy back to Aurora over Mount Vernon, and you know that was one the Hound Dogs were very excited to get.
McDonald County traveled to Lamar, and the Mustangs won at 39-35, and I think that was a last-minute victory as well.
They scored, I believe, with just over a minute remaining. And I said in the pregame last week, I expected the Mustangs to be a lot better this year. I had Lamar winning, but it looks like the Mustangs somewhat proved me wrong and proved me right. They look to be ahead of where I thought they were, and they're posed to have a great year as well.
Springfield Catholic traveled to East Newton. The Fighting Irish won it by 4, 31-27. And when you look up and down the Big 8, lots of points and a lot of tight ball games.
Yeah, and that's just how the Big 8's always been. A lot of parity in the Big 8 conference. Kind of anyone can beat anyone. You just look at last season. Mount Vernon finished at the top of the conference, goes to the district championship, but Monett gets them in week 9 of the season.
Yeah, so you just never know in this conference. Obviously, lots of good teams. This week in the Big 8 conference, of course, Strafford here at Monett, the one non-conference game within the Big 8. Cassville takes their 0-1 record on the road to McDonald County. That should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like the Mustangs in it. They beat Lamar last week, so how could you not take the Mustangs? But I think it'd be a good game because I think Cassville is really good.
Aurora and Nevada, a pair of 1-0 teams. They'll match up tonight up in Nevada.
You're going to find out a lot about both teams tonight. They get a win in week 1, but week 2 is where you start to find your ground in weeks 2 and 3. You correct those small mistakes that you didn't see during practice. You're really going to start to see the Big 8 take shape early.
East Newton in an enviable position. They get to host the 0-1 Lamar Tigers.
Not a fun team to have to play after a loss. The only time I can remember Lamar losing back-to-back games was in the 2019 season. They lost to Monett, and then they went on the road and lost to Seneca. And that, I believe, is the last time they lost back-to-back games.
It's been a long time, I know. And then Seneca, they start 1-0 on the road. They stay on the road tonight. They go to Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon 0-1. You got to like the Indians in that one, I guess.
I do like the Indians in that one, but Coach Cox is not someone that likes to see the losing column with more numbers than the win column. You know he's going to be dialing up everything he possibly can to get the Mountaineers that victory.
Other area games that we'll take a look at this week, Harrisonville travels to Bolivar. Bolivar is a district opponent for the Cubs. That should be an interesting game.
Should be an interesting one. You'll find out what the Liberators have early. Last season they put together a pretty good group that knocked the Cubs out of the playoffs. Had a great running game last year. We'll see what the Liberators got returning this season.
Reed Spring 0-1 at Marshfield 1-0. Marshfield won a really low-scoring, tight game, I believe, against Parkview last week.
Yeah, Reed Springs, a team that used to be in the Big 8 conference, but the Big 8 was just too big, so you split it up into different conferences. Marshall, the district opponent for the Cubs. So Marshall going to be someone Cubs fans want to keep their eyes on possibly when it comes district time.
Carthage travels to Ozark. There's a matchup of two 1-0 teams. Ozark trending up. Carthage has been good for several years.
Carthage kind of rose up and challenged Webb City when it came to being the top dog over there in that area of Missouri. But now Ozark's had to deal with Nixa doing really good the last couple years, and you got to raise your stakes over if you're Ozark because you can't let Nixa just beat you year in and year out.
Joplin at Lebanon, 1-0 Joplin at Lebanon. Lebanon played a tight game last week, came up just a little bit short. That should be a good contest.
There's a lot of good games this week, especially with the bigger schools as well. I do like Joplin to start the year 2-0.
And then probably the biggest game in the area, Webb City, 1-0 at Nixa, 1-0.
I think Nixa makes a statement. I think they show that they've taken the throne as far as it comes of Southwest Missouri teams.
Well, we'll see. That will be an interesting one up in Christian County. Well, we're going to slip away here from some of our outstanding sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Rollo Insurance pregame show after this timeout. Receivers wide to the near side. He spins, now throws back, and it's caught by Smith. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet. First down and more to the 45 and out to about the 46 for a gain of 15. Washik looking right, throwing right, has a man, and it is knocked away at the last second. It was Here's Washik looking to pass. Now scrambles right, throws right, and this one is intercepted, and this one might go the distance for the Tigers down the sideline. It is going to be an interception return of 80 yards, and again it is Jet Snyder.
Second deep.
Smith lines as an I-back, and he'll get it running to the right, stretches it out, stiff arms his way for a first down and more. It's a touch from their 43. Snap back, Washik looking to the left, fires to the left. Nesserode with the catch. First down for the Cubs. We'll be kicking it away. Another squib kick. This time it's fielded at the 33. Run up the middle to the 40, 45, 50, and down to the Tiger 43.
Long first quarter.
Second down and about 7. A flag comes out. Now the ball is passed. It's caught for a score, but this one may come back. Second down and 10. Cubs with the empty backfield. Washik will hit Smith at the 15 to the 10, still on his feet. Hurdles one tackler and down to the 3. Braden takes a low snap, back to pass, throws to the end zone, and the score. Wide open was the wide receiver, Jet Snyder.
Snyder's having himself
was second and 1, is now third and 11. Washik will throw near side. Meeks with the catch, and he'll pick up the first down. Another ASI first down for the Cubs. Here's a quick pass. Caught on the left side to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Cubs with 5 receivers in the formation, now 4. Smith out of the backfield. Now Washik will throw into the end zone. It's caught for the score. And Braden will go back to pass, has a man wide open, and the score on the far side.
Wide open's right. He was by him.
Washik out of the shotgun. Drops the ball, now recovers, throws it far side. Pass is caught by Umfleet, breaks a tackle, and he'll have the first down. Antoine Smith up the middle, he goes to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown, Monett Cubs from 25 yards out.
And now that
quarterback looking to throw it, has a man wide open, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Tigers from 39-yard line, third down and 4. Watch on Google Play or on the Apple app. Sponsored by Payless Rental and Sales. With 6 area locations, Payless Rental and Sales offers flexible payment options and free delivery of furniture, appliances, and electronics. Your Monett Cubs broadcast team, sponsored by A-List Properties. For all your real estate needs, their team will work hard for you and your family. A reminder that the score of any contest is generally forgotten over time. However, the actions of players, coaches, and fans, well, they leave lasting impressions. Be sure to choose good sportsmanship as you cheer on your favorite team. This message was brought to you by Access Family Care, with more than 200 employees serving 7 counties in southwest Missouri. Well, Ryan, a matchup of a couple of non-conference schools here. You know, you've got the Mid Lakes, which is a solid Class 3 conference, and then Monett out of the Big 8. Monett, a Class 4 school, going against Class 3. Strafford, and I know them very well because they were in the same conference where I worked previously.
Yes.
And a lot of solid athletes up there, and they generally put together good football, good basketball, good baseball teams.
Yeah, I remember growing up, I used to always see good headlines about Strafford. They usually won games. I never matched up against Strafford throughout my childhood, all the way through high school. Last year, I believe, was the first meeting between the Cubs and the Indians on the playing surface for football. This will be the second one. Cubs trying to even the series score, and we were looking at some of the athletes in the pregame. Last year, when we showed up to Strafford, you could tell the athletes they had, but like we said earlier, there was a lot of seniors on that team.
Yeah, every starting position last year was occupied by a senior. So when they graduate, a lot of organizational knowledge leaves with them. And when you're bringing on a new set of kids, there's a learning curve. And last week was tough for the Indians when Liberty took them down 48-0. But I think you'll see a team tonight for the Indians that'll be improved, much like we want to see from the Monett Cubs.
Yeah, for the Indians, you lose 48-0 last week. It ought to take you off a little bit because you don't want to be the group that follows a great team and then you lower the standard and lower the bar and you don't meet expectation. You want to rise back up and show you're going to meet that expectation, and the Strafford football is not going anywhere. If you're the Cubs, you want to right the ship right now and go, yeah, we really had some self-inflicted wounds last week. We got it right, and now we're 1-1.
Yeah, and you want to be 1-1 after the game tonight and get ready for Aurora next week. Aurora with a big win already. You know, they put that in the bank already. They're going to Lamar tonight. That'll be a tough one. No, I said that wrong. They're going to Nevada tonight. Let me make sure. Going to Nevada tonight, and you know, that's tough. That's a tough road to hoe. But the Cubs really don't need to start this year 0-2.
Absolutely not, because you're going to have a Aurora Hound Dogs team and a lot of confidence that you have to play week 3 on the road. Going to Aurora, never an easy task. I think it's one of the most underrated atmospheres in the Big 8. Things just always seem to happen on that side of Lawrence County.
You're right, and it's an interesting place to view a game. And I know you've played a number of times up there too. Kelly Field, I know one thing about it, has probably one of the largest crowns in the center of their field as anywhere in southwest Missouri.
Yeah, they do. Last time I went to Aurora was my freshman year of high school because of the Big 8 expansion that they did. But I can remember going there when I was younger and playing games, and it was always an interesting place.
Tonight's national anthem brought to you by VFW Post 4207 in Monett. Post 4207 reminds us that some gave all and all gave some. No one does more for local veterans than VFW Post 4207. The Monett High School Band on the field. Moments away from tonight's anthem, we'll slip away and hear from some of our fine sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Rollo Insurance pregame show after this timeout.
Stay on your feet and cheer on the Cubs with the Monett fight song.
Welcome back to the Rollo Insurance pregame show. Still about 12 and a half minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. The kickoff sponsored by Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. With branches in 7 locations, Freedom Bank has met a wide variety of your banking needs since 1999. The Talent Sports Network covers 3 Big 8 teams each and every Friday night. The Monett Cubs right here on 95.9 FM. The Cassville Wildcats are on 97.7 FM. And the Aurora Hound Dogs are on AM 940. Be sure to catch Big 8 Conference football on the Talent Sports Network tonight and all season long. Well, Ryan, as we look out, field seems to be in good condition. Obviously a turf field, but there was a pretty good shower that rolled through between 5 and 5:30, and it appears to have moved away, and maybe we'll dodge the raindrops for a while.
Yeah, but you're going to be on a damp playing surface, which can make the ball a little slippery. And so with the Cubs' high passing attack, that could play effect. Not too much of a wind going on right now, if any. Luckily for the Cubs, it did move on. I believe Strafford likes to throw the ball too, so both teams should be able to play to their strengths. It'll be very big on the receivers, though, to make sure they are reeling the ball in before they try to run.
The temperature in Monett is a chilly 56 degrees. It feels like 54. The wind out of the north at about 9 miles an hour. When I took a look at radar, it appeared that the rain may stay away for a few hours and hopefully stay to the north as this game goes along. Tonight's field condition and weather report brought to you by Heritage Tractor, your local John Deere dealer who offers new and used equipment for your backyard, farm, or ranch. Stop by or visit heritagetractor.com. We'll take a look now at the Monett Cub starting lineups, and we'll start with the defensive end. Ryan, a couple of changes made on the defensive end as Logan Cole moves in to the starting lineup at defensive end, 6'1", 185-pound senior. And the other change, Sam Carr moves to the outside linebacking position. Henry Reed moves to the inside linebacking position. So some changes on the defensive side. It looks like this. Camden Tolles at one defensive end, 6'4", 225, a junior. Chris Calhoun at defensive tackle, 5'11", 170. Logan Cole at the other defensive end. The linebackers are Anderson, Carr, Rivera, and Reed. The defensive backs, Josue Elias, Chris Spears, August Black, and Kaysen Carr. Hinojosa will handle the kicking duties. Colin Unfleet will be the punter. On offense, it's the same offensive starting lineup as a week ago. The guys up front, Mercado, Garcia, Martinez, Hinojosa, and Serrano. The wide receivers are Young, Seitz, Nesselrode, Umfleet, and Meeks. The quarterback, Dylan Washik, and Washik threw for almost 500 yards last week, and 3 receivers reached the 100-yard plateau. So offensively, they were able to put some numbers together.
They were, but they were very much plagued in that first quarter with some costly turnovers, giving up multiple defensive touchdowns. Things that just can't happen. You got to clean up. You expect the Cubs to when you have someone like Coach Mock coaching who's just an offensive guru. He's going to take care of those things. So I'm not stressed about the offense at all. They're going to get it together, and you really saw how much potential they had last year as they put it together. Defensively, you just got to see that improvement that you think you would get from week 1 to week 2. Correct some of those little things. Make sure you're wrapping up, because if the Cubs defense can do their job, you know the offense is going to put up close to 30 every game.
You know, last week, Antoine Smith ran the ball 5 times for 62 yards. Colin Umfleet had 4 carries for 14 yards. As we mentioned, Dylan Washick threw for almost 500 yards, 49 of 62 for 497. He had 4 touchdowns, but 3 costly interceptions. And then on the receiving end, the Cubs were led by Colin Umfleet, 17 catches for 155 yards. He had 1 touchdown. Alex Meeks, 10 catches for 105 yards and 2 scores. Carson Nessero, 9 catches for 113, and he also had 1 score. So 6 different Cubs with catches last week, led by those 3 that had over 100 yards. So
I was very impressed by Alex Meeks. He had a high catch radius last week and was just able to go get the ball over defenders.
Absolutely. And, you know, you got to have that guy you can go to, especially on third down plays when you're trying to keep those chains moving.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have a guy as a quarterback that you trust, that when the pocket breaks down and you need a guy to just go get it, you can throw it to.
It's the Cubs and the Indians from Burrow Fowler. Kickoff still about 7 minutes away. We'll slip away and hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Rollo Insurance pregame show after this timeout.
Cole. Number 35, Alex Meeks. Number 40, Tucker.
This game brought to you in part by Prime Cut, with great smoked meats, fresh steaks, and much, much more. Stop by 101 East Cleveland in Monett when you need a single meal or full catering. This game also brought to you by Adrenaline Apparel and Design, your one-stop destination for premium, fast, and custom-printed products. High-quality screen printing and much more, delivered when you need it. And finally, this game brought to you by Heritage Tractor, with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. Heritage Tractor, working hard to find the right product for you. Captains at midfield right now for tonight's coin toss, brought to you by Quick Draw Gun in Monett, where they offer one of the area's largest selections of firearms, ammunition, and accessories. Stop by Quick Draw Gun at 601 South Kyler in Monett, or call them at 417-354-8633. Beautiful evening for football. It feels like fall here in week number 2 with temperatures in the upper 50s.
It feels like football season now. It feels like we're in peak football.
And then next week they're talking 90s again. So welcome to Southwest Missouri.
Yeah.
So the coin toss taking place at midfield. The captains talking over the coin in the air. And we'll see. I believe Strafford won the toss. And they did. Strafford will elect to receive and defend the north goal. And Monett will kick off going right to left as Ryan and I look on here high atop.
With it being cooler, shouldn't see as many cramps as we did last week in week 1. We also have a chance that we could see a lot of points tonight with the two offenses that we're going to see. I know last week Strafford didn't score, but the style of play they use, they can be explosive.
Absolutely. You've been listening to the Rollo Insurance pregame show. Rollo Insurance, a partner who you can call on today, tomorrow, and always. Stop by and see Scott Thrasher at 1001 East Broadway in Monett. Tonight's kickoff sponsored by Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. With branches in 7 locations, Freedom Bank has met a wide variety of your banking needs since 1999. During our broadcast tonight, by the way, the Talon Sports Network will offer our listeners the opportunity to earn a fantastic prize, and it is a fantastic prize tonight. Stay tuned to learn how you can be tonight's winner. So the Cubs will kick it off. The Cubs in their home purple jerseys and white pants. The traveling Indians from Strafford in all whites tonight with the maroon numerals on their uniform back. Glad to have you with us here from Burl Fowler tonight. It's the Cubs and the Strafford Indians with kickoff just seconds away. Hinojosa darn near misses the ball, and it goes straight sideways and out of bounds at the Cub 40.
Yeah, not an ideal start for the Cubs. The Strafford Indians will take over with great field position for their first drive of the game.
You know, when you go to a game, there's a chance you're going to see something that you've never seen before. First play took care of that. I've never seen one that went straight sideways.
You got to hit it just right.
Well, it came off that T spinning, and it went right down the 40-yard line. And look where they're spotting. They're spotting it with the nose of the football at the 40. So the Indians with great field position. And, Ryan, you make sure you help me here with names and numbers for the Indians as we get started here.
I got you.
Looks like the Indians will come out with 2 receivers wide to the left. Looks like a tight end or a wing on the left side. Now a 5-yard penalty being marked off.
Be at the 35.
Be at the 35. So it's 1st and 10 for the Indians from the 35. Quarterback is junior Gage Thompson. He'll work out of the shotgun and looks to throw. Hit, and down he goes.
A big first play for the Cubs defense. Flying into the backfield was Chris Calhoun and Camden Ellis.
And that sack brought to you by Prime Cut with great smoked meats, fresh steaks, and much, much more. Stop by 101 East Cleveland in Monett when you need a single meal or full catering. A loss of 7 on the play. And that's a great way for the Cubs defense to get started. Let's see if they can put 2 or 3 plays together in a row here. 2nd and 17. Quarterback rolls to the left, throws to the left, overshoots his intended receiver. It's incomplete.
Was intended to Tillman Hill. And now a big 3rd down for the Cubs defense. Last week they got Nevada to 3rd down on their opening series, but then gave up a big pop play. The Tigers went down and scored.
3rd down and 17 just underway here in Monett. The Indians come out with 3 receivers wide to the left side, 1 to the near sideline. Running back just to the right of the quarterback. Out of the shotgun, back to pass. Under pressure, makes one man miss. Down the sideline he runs down to about the 35 for a gain of 7.
Chris Calhoun with another tackle there on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And unless you have a heck of a kicker, this is definitely go-for-it territory for Strafford.
Good job by Thompson to elude a sack, and he's able to pick up 7 yards.
You're kind of in no man's land if you're Strafford here.
Oh, they've got to go for it here, you would assume.
It's too short to punt, too long to kick.
From the 35.
Got to watch the football.
Thompson out of the shotgun. Gets the snap, he'll roll to the left. Being chased from behind, now throws late over the middle. It is intercepted. This could go the other way for a score. To the 40, to the 30. One man to beat. 10, 5, touchdown, Monett Cubs.
August Black with a massive pick 6, and now the Cubs are fired up. They get their first lead of the new season.
70-yard interception return for the score, August Black.
That'll fire up the stands.
Absolutely, and once he got it, you knew he had one guy to beat, and he was able to sprint down the left sideline and went in untouched for the score. Now the Cubs will go for 2. So a great way for this one to start for the Monett Cubs. Washik will work out of the shotgun. He takes the snap, will roll to the right. Has a man over the middle, but the 2-point conversion is no good. And with that, our score, Monett 6, Strafford nothing. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. With over 80 years of experience, their team at Randall, Mastery, and Randall will handle your legal matters effectively. Call 235-8688 for all your legal and title service needs. The Extra Point, sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. You'll get quality customer service, affordable prices, and a pest-free guarantee at Home Shield Pest Control. Cubs kickoff, sponsored by Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. With branches in 7 locations, Freedom Bank has met a wide variety of your needs since 1999. Well, the defense rose up there, Ryan.
Yes, they did, and that's a lesson for a young quarterback. You do not throw across your body back towards the middle of the field. That usually does not end well. That time he paid the price.
He did, and he threw late over the middle, and August Black made a good break on the ball, and he gets the touchdown. Another kick that's going to go short of the 10 yards and out of bounds. And this one goes out at the Cub 47.
Strafford would have an opportunity here with short field yet again.
You know, you feel for Hinojosa. Right now, his kick looks like my pitching wedge when I get to Yanks, you know?
And sometimes it just happens, and as a kicker, it gets really hard because if you get in one of those funks where it's not going well, it can really go wrong for you.
Yeah. When my pitching wedge goes bad, you better stand behind me a long ways because you never know where it's going to go. 1st and 10 from the Cub 42 after the 5-yard penalty is marked off. Thompson will work out of the shotgun. This time he gets to his tailback up the middle, and he is knocked down after a short gain. and that is James Mon, sophomore running back, and he'll pick up 1 yard.
Tucker Anderson with the tackle along with Logan Cole. If the Cubs defense get another stop here with short field, you got to believe that'll fire them up with a defensive score and you get a stop in short field. That'll make you believe in yourself.
2nd down and 9 for Strafford. Clock rolls with 9:35 left here in the first. Monett on top 6-0. Thompson out of the pistol formation, takes the ball and back to pass. Hit, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and now wrapped up and dropped for a loss on the play.
Camden Ellis was all over him there. He was pressured by Tucker Anderson. Ellis there to finally bring him down. Big sack there for the Cubs defense.
That sack brought to you by Prime Cut, with great smoked meats, fresh steaks, and much, much more. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. Back after this quick timeout. Agent Andy Brandt stopped by the office to get a free quote today. Stand behind Andy Brandt's shield of shelter. 3rd down and 13 upcoming for Strafford.
Strafford just needs to calm down. They seem very jittery to start the game.
Yeah, the guys up front, they're having a hard time keeping that defensive pressure off of their quarterback. 3rd down and long. Thompson back to pass, looking to set up a screen, but he's in a bunch of trouble, and he'll go down again.
He's lucky he was able to hold on to the ball there, but he was brought down for a big sack there. Cubs defense has been all over the place. Chris Calhoun in there for the sack along with Sam Carr.
Again, that sack brought to you by Prime Cut at 101. East Cleveland in Monett. A loss of 12 on the play brings up 4th and 25. So a punt upcoming. Punts brought to you by Heritage Tractor. Kick away, a spiraling kick, angled to the near side. That's fielded at the 28. Return to the 30, to the 35. The ball comes loose, and I believe the Indians may have recovered the fumble.
A big break for the Indians. It looks like it was stripped away and then recovered by number 43, James McGaughan.
A 29-yard punt, a return of about 9 yards, but then a fumble on the return.
Fumbled by Deshaun Collins.
That was an interesting play. The ball bounced. Collins went up to get it. He caught it and then looked like he signaled for a fair catch after he caught it, which kind of freaked out the Indians, and he broke it free for a minute and then lost the ball on the turnover. So that play was just discombobulated from the start.
He'd been better off there just to go down if he was wanting a fair catch.
Or let the ball bounce.
Yeah, and just let him touch it.
1st and 10 Indians after the turnover from the Cub 38. Handoff up the middle goes for a short gain. I believe we have a new quarterback in.
It's number 15, Landon Rhodes.
Gain of 1 on the play. Yeah, Rhodes checks in. Looks like he's wearing kind of a cast on his right hand.
Yeah, looks like he has a club on, which that can make it difficult to throw the ball.
And also to run the ball in this particular place as Rhodes is steamrolled in the backfield for a loss of about 4 yards.
Cubs D-line has been winning the battle up front so far. They push him back again, led by Chris Calhoun.
tackle for loss on that play. It looked like a running play that just didn't develop for Strafford. A loss of 4 brings up 3rd down and 13. Rhodes will work out of the pistol formation. Low snap, he scoops it up and is hit in the backfield as he tries to escape. It'll be a loss of another 3 yards.
Logan Cole there to be the final man to bring him down, and another 4th down now for the Strafford Indians.
And their punt unit back onto the field. Their punt sponsored by Heritage Tractor with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. Heritage Tractor, working hard to find the right product for you. From the Cub 45, a high snap. The kick away is angled to the near sideline, and this one will take a Cub bounce down at their 31-yard line. So a 14-yard punt with no return. Well, the Cubs defense has held 3 times here in the first quarter. And a reminder that tonight's first quarter brought to you by Monett Sheet Metal, a trusted and respected business that has been providing sales and service for residential and commercial customers since 1935.
Cubs offense gets their first shot really on to have a drive.
It is their first opportunity. Washik straight back to pass. Hits Nessel Road on the screen. Up the field he goes. 1st down and more. Out near midfield, down at the 50.
That was a great run after the catch by Carson Nesselrode. They finally wrestled him out of bounds. Great 1st down play for the Cubs there.
A gain of 19 and a 1st down. Brought to you by Architectural Systems Incorporated. Here's Smith running the ball. Lots of room to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Cubs. No flags. It'll stand a 50-yard sprint by Antoine Smith.
Antoine Smith showing off the speed there, turned on the burners, and got a big score for the Cubs. They jump up 2 scores.
Once he broke free, there was no one catching him from behind. And the Cubs lead at 12-0 as they'll go for 2. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall Mastery and Randall with over 80 years of experience. The team at Randall Mastery and Randall will handle your legal matters effectively. The upcoming 2-point conversion will be sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. You'll get quality customer service, affordable prices, and a pest-free guarantee at Home Shield Pest Control.
How far was that run, Benji?
50 yards
50
on the
yards.
button. So a 2-play drive, 19-yard pass to Nesselrode, a 50-yard run by Smith, and the Cubs are back up on the board. They'll go for 2. Here's a swing pass, and it's going to be a double pass, and it's caught, but is he in the end zone or not? They're going to say no. It was Umfleet passing the ball out to Miles Young, but he was not in the end zone, so the 2-point conversion is no good. Our score, with 6:22 left here in the first, the Monett Cubs 12, the Strafford Indians nothing. Back after this timeout. Here at Monett, a new kicker into the game for the Cubs. This kickoff angle to the near sideline, and it will also go out of bounds. That's 3 for 3 for the Cubs tonight.
That was Reed Eaton kicking off for the Cubs. And yeah, a 3rd kickoff goes out of bounds.
This one, however, in Strafford territory, it went out at their 41. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on their Cubs, their 3rd penalty of the night. The Indians will have it. 1st and 10 at their own 46. The quarterback is Rhodes. Landon, a senior quarterback. Again, playing with a cast on the right hand. Takes the snap. and hands to his tailback, and that is Mon.
Tucker Anderson was all over him from the start of that game. Another tackle for loss for Anderson.
Loss of 2, second down and 12. It's been tough sledding for the Indians this far. Mahan, a sophomore running back, 3 carries, no yards tonight. He had a pair of 2-yard or 1-yard gains and then was thrown for a loss of 2 on his third attempt.
They just need something to give their team life right now.
They have it at their own 44-yard line on second down. And that play was ill-timed. Again, it looked like they were trying to set up a jet sweep, and it just never happened, and Rhodes goes down in the backfield again.
Cam Nellis and Henry Reed there for the tackle for loss. And, yeah, they shouldn't have snapped that ball to the receiver. It was further on along with his motion. That way you get the mesh between the quarterback and the receiver there. It was just snapped way too early.
Yeah, he was waiting for that jet sweep to get there, and by the time it got there, the Cubs collapsed that backfield. A loss on the play brings up third down and 17. Revolving quarterbacks as the Indians go back to their starter who throws it down the field. The pass caught out to about the 50-yard line, and that was Hill with the catch, a gain of about 10 yards.
He was wrestled down by Chris Spears, and, yeah, like I said, you have the club on Rhodes' hand. I think it's going to make it pretty hard for him to be able to throw the football. And so you have to put Thompson back in there to throw it, which also makes you very predictable, though, on offense if you keep having to rotate when you need to throw the ball.
Punt upcoming, sponsored by Heritage Tractor, with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. A nice punt this time that hits and takes an Indian bounce inside the 10 and will be put down near the 5-yard line. So a punt, if I do some quick math here, 46-yard punt.
Yeah, got a good bounce on that one. Nice roll. It was a good punt.
And the Cubs were taking no chances with a turnover there as they let the ball bounce inside the 20. And they'll take over at their own 5, leading 12-0 here in the early going. Wash extends at his own 1-yard line here with a tailback about 3 yards deep, and that's Antoine Smith running right to the 5, to the 10. This is going to come back as a flag comes out. If it would stand, it'd be a 15-yard. I tell you what, he picks up 15 yards in a blink of an eye.
But he's also very patient by how he runs. If you look at him, he's waiting for his lane, and then he goes.
But a flag out there on the right side of the offense will most likely be a hold. It'll be a push in the back. It's going to be half the distance to the goal line, so a penalty of 3 yards.
Those are those little things, though, the Cubs need to clean up, because if he busts one there, that's a touchdown that can get called back potentially.
Ball back near the 3, so we'll call it 1st and 12. And here comes Smith again across the 5, across the 10 to the 15, and down he goes close to a first down.
Finally wrapped up and brought down by Jalen Thorndike. But another hard run there by Antoine Smith.
Gain of 12 and a first down. That first down brought to you by Architectural Systems Incorporated. ASI can turn any concept involving metal into reality.
The Cubs have a two-headed monster at running back this year.
They really do. They have some capable backs, to say the least. Quick pass out to Nesselrode. 15-20, still on his feet to the 25 and out to the 29 for a gain of about 13 yards.
Carson Nesselrode, another nice one where he gets nice yards after catch.
Another ASI first down to the 28-yard line. Here's Washik, stretch play, goes to Smith, running right, and leans his way to about the 35 for a gain of 7 yards.
J.D. Adams bringing down Smith.
Second down and 3 from the Cub 35. 2 receivers split wide to the right. 2 to the near sideline as well. Smith stays in the backfield. Washik takes the snap, back to pass, has time, throws deep, has Nesselrode open. He makes the catch and steps out of bounds at the Indian 35.
Carson Nesselrode off to a nice start to start the game. Him and Washik have been finding the connection early.
30-yard gain on that play, and another ASI first down. The Cubs up to 5 first downs now. Here's Smith running right, makes a man miss, now cuts up to the 30 and spins his way to the 29, a gain of 6 yards on the play.
Cubs have been winning first down so far tonight, Benji, in the first quarter. You got to keep doing that, though.
Yeah, and it's nothing real fancy on some of these plays. Kind of a stretch play where they give the ball to the tailback and he does the rest. Here's Washik back to pass and overshoots Young on the right side. The pass falls incomplete.
See what Coach Mock decides to dial up here on third down. Antoine Smith will come out for a quick breather, and they'll put Colin Umfleet in the backfield now.
Well, that's what you wanted to see is that two-headed.
Umfleet's a gadget player. He was playing receiver. Now he moves into the backfield. You can kind of put him anywhere.
Well, he'll be tailback this time, and he'll pick up the first down and more to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, still on his feet, and steps out at the 3.
Oh, I thought he had it. Thought he tiptoed it, but they couldn't call him out of bounds. Nice run there by Colin Umfleet.
Gain of 26, and another first down brought to you by ASI, Architectural Systems Incorporated, a full-service forming, fabricating, finishing, engineering company. Washik out of the shotgun, takes the snap, will look to throw, under pressure, fires late, and throws it out of bounds. A smart play there to avoid the sack.
And that's where you see the experience of Washik starting to come in as veteranship, because last year he probably would have tried to throw that one in the end zone to make a play. That's where you can have a turnover. Wisely throws that one away.
Or a year ago, he may have been sacked. He's a little more nimble in the backfield this year. Here's Umfleet with the ball, running to the right, stretches it out to the right side and into the end zone for the score.
Colin Umfleet gets a rushing touchdown now in the first quarter as well. Cubs off to a fast start.
4-yard touchdown run, and the Cubs lead at 18-0. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. The upcoming two-point conversion sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. Umfleet will now go into the backfield. And out of the shotgun, he takes the ball, runs it right side, and walks into the end zone. And the two-point conversion is good. 1:45 left here in the first. Monett 20, Strafford nothing. Back after this timeout. Are our sponsor of the first quarter. Their team of experts dedicated to finding the most cost-effective solutions for your heating and cooling needs. Kickoff in the air, and this one is angled to the near sideline, and yes, folks, it goes out of bounds as well.
Well, Benji, like you said earlier, sometimes you see things in football games that you never see, and now you've had 4 straight kickoffs go out of bounds.
In one quarter. That has to be some sort of record.
By 2 different kickers. 2 each.
2 each. So it'll be another 5-yard penalty. Now, there could be an explanation. They're kicking it away from somebody.
Fair.
But I don't think that's the case.
No. They obviously want to kick to the near side. They want to kick towards their sideline.
First and 10 from the 39-yard line. And now a flag comes out. This will be against the Indians. And it's brought to you by Adrenaline Apparel and Design, your one-stop destination for premium, fast, and custom printed products. High-quality screen printing and much, much more delivered when you need it.
Been a lot of self-inflicted stuff by the Indians tonight. They just seem kind of discombobulated.
They do. They just at least valve there, throwing it out to Smith. That's a good option to have. Smith in the backfield now. He'll take the handoff, running right to the 25. Hit there and then leans forward to the 22 for a gain of 5 yards.
James Mon on over him to bring him down.
Clock rolls inside, 10 seconds left here. We'll see if the Cubs get another play off. 2nd down and 5 for Monett. Washik will roll to the near side. He's going to throw deep near side, and it is incomplete in the back edge of the end zone.
Was intended for Carson Nesselrode. Was in double coverage, but almost came down with it. That was a good ball by Dylan.
Great throw. That just fell incomplete. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. Our score, Monett 20, Strafford nothing. Back after this timeout. Was brought to you by Monett Sheet Metal. Whether you're looking for new installation, routine maintenance, or general repairs, Monett Sheet Metal is the one to call. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Wintech. With facilities in Monett and Cassville, Wintech is an employee-owned company that provides standard and custom products to multiple markets within the construction industry. Big thank you to those sponsors and all our sponsors. For without their support, these broadcasts would not be possible. 3rd down and 5 for the Cubs from the Indian 22. Washik will go back to pass, has plenty of time, now throws toward the end zone and overshoots Young. Pass incomplete, brings up 4th down.
Young and Washik just not able to connect, so now a 4th down for the Cubs. Only 5 to go. They've ran the ball well. You could hand it off here.
You could. They've been successful in the run game here early. A whistle stops action for the moment. A timeout on the field is called by the Strafford Indians. Timeout brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Andy Brandt. Andy will make sure you get the right coverage at the right price. Call or text 417-235-5603 to request a free quote. Yeah, on the ground, Antoine Smith, 80 yards already on just 5 carries. Colin Umfleet, 30 yards on 2 carries.
Well, when you're Coach and you love to throw the football, that is his bread and butter, is throwing, and those little quick passes are his run game. But when you have 2 good running backs, you got to utilize them, and he has tonight.
Yeah, those guys with a total of 8 touches tonight, as Smith has 1 reception as well.
And it's good that they're both versatile. They can both line up at receiver. They can both line up at running back. Colin can line up at quarterback, too. We've seen him do that.
Yes, his career started, in the backfield as a quarterback. 4th down and 5 from the 22. The Cubs will go for it here. It'll be Smith running right to the 20, still on his feet to the 15, and he put his head down and punished the tackler. A gain of 10 and a 1st down.
Levi Compton will be credited with the tackle.
Another ASI 1st down for the Monett Cubs, as they'll have it at the 12. Washik takes the snap, looks over the middle now, throws late for Meeks. It's incomplete.
That was a risky pass to Alex Meeks, and it was almost intercepted by Compton.
Cubs kind of ran a dual slant there, and Meeks was running the deeper slant and was well covered near the goal line. Clock stopped with 11:33 left here in the second quarter. Washik takes the snap, now throws. This one complete inside the 5 to the 4. That was Meeks for a gain of 8.
Yeah, they went right back to him there. That'll make it 3rd and goal. Very little to go. About 4 yards left.
It'll be 3rd and 2. And mess up in the backfield as Smith went one way and Washik went the other. And this will end up being a loss back to the 8-yard line, a loss of 4 on the play.
Smith tried to make something out of nothing there, just wasn't able to as the Indians bring him down.
And that brings up 4th down for the Cubs. 4th and 6 from the 8-yard line. Washik looks to the near sideline to get the play call. 2 receivers lined up to the near side, 2 to the left. Smith is the lone back. Washik takes the snap. He's going to throw it left. Has a man wide open. Touchdown, Monett Cubs.
Carson Nesselrode with the touchdown reception. Cubs are firing on all cylinders early.
Nesselrode with an 8-yard touchdown reception. The Cubs lead at 26-0. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Massery, and Randall. They can handle all your legal matters effectively. The upcoming 2-point conversion, sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. You'll get quality customer service, affordable prices, and a pest-free guarantee at Home Shield Pest Control.
Penalty called?
After the touchdown? Oh, they took the points off the board. There was a penalty, a 5-yard penalty. So a costly penalty there. We didn't see the flag.
Be another one on the Cubs now.
Another false start. Well,
not ideal. But like I said earlier, those costly mistakes you can have that are self-inflicted that can take points off the board.
And it's 4th down from the 18. The Cubs need to get to the 2.
Nesselrode still has one-on-one.
Here's a shuttle pass to Smith. Smith 15-10 to the 5, still on his feet. And into the end zone for the score.
Antoine Smith just would not be denied. Found his way into the end zone for his 2nd score of the evening.
18-yard touchdown reception. That shuttle pass goes as a completed pass. And the Cubs now lead 26-0. And the 2-point conversion still sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. Touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Massery, and Randall. Washik takes the snap, rolls to the right with time, now throws back over the middle. The 2-point conversion to Umfleet is good. 10:20 left, second quarter. Cubs lead at 28-0 back after this timeout. Just a reminder, you're listening to the Cubs on KKBL 95.9 FM in Monett. Third kicker of the night? Is that what you were signaling?
Third kicker of the night.
And this kickoff stays inbounds, and the Indians cover it at their own 48-yard line. So that breaks a streak of 4 penalized kickoffs.
I don't even have a 79 on my roster for the Cubs.
They were scrambling with the roster this morning, I know. Having 90-plus players and not enough uniforms to cover everybody.
I believe it was Jacob McCall.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Handoff in the backfield, a fumble, but the Indians able to gather it up, but a loss on the play of 8 yards.
Sam Carr flying in the backfield all over it. Huge tackle for loss. Cubs defense been winning first down.
Yeah, every time. And makes the game a lot easier when that happens for that defense. 2nd down and 17. As Strafford will have it at their own 41. Clock rolls with 9:40 left here in the second quarter. Monett on top 28-0. Thompson will work out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, rolls to the right, throws to the right and overshoots his intended receiver. That was Hill.
Yeah.
Incompletion brings up 3rd down.
Another opportunity here for the Cubs defense. The whole sideline seems kind of bought in now on these big thirds down. They get energetic, get loud for their guys on the field.
And right now, Strafford just does not have that guy that puts pressure on the defense, so you can really see the field tilt, for the Cubs, and the Indians have just had a tough time here in the first half. Under center this time. Quarterback play action pass will throw. The pass swatted down and is incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Pass was deflected and incomplete, bringing up 4th down. Seeing everyone on the sideline, though, doing that on those 3rd down plays, that tells me Coach Mock put emphasis this week on we're going to get excited for our defense on those big plays.
This punt being brought to you by Heritage Tractor with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. Heritage Tractor working hard to find the right product for you. The kick away is a high tumbling kick down to the Cub 41. I believe that's August Black with a return out to the 46.
It was. Now the Cubs offense will come back on the field. 9:15 remaining in the second quarter. Chance to put up more points here.
18-yard punt with a 5-yard return. And the Cubs will take over at their 46, leading 28-0.
Back to the empty set now.
Washik with 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Washik looking right now, throws deep near sideline for Meeks. Makes the catch at the 20 to the 10, 5, and into the end zone for the score.
Alex Meeks getting one of his own now for the night. Big catch, stayed in bounds, and pushed away the defender and got in the end zone.
54-yard touchdown reception by Meeks. And the Cubs lead grows to 34-0. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. With over 80 years of experience, the team will handle your legal matters effectively. Washik out of the shotgun on the 2-point conversion, looking to the right, fires over the middle, and overshoots Young. It's incomplete. 9:06 left here in the second. Cubs lead at 34-0. Back after this timeout. Cubs enjoy a 34-0 lead.
Another kicker on the field now.
Fourth
Mercado.
All right.
Dig it, big fella.
That's a good kick. Takes a Cub bounce inside the 30, and the Indians will take over at their own 26. You know, you'll be kicking before the night's over.
Put me in, Coach.
I tell you what, I don't think I could kick it 10 yards anymore with my bad knees. But I bet you could. I bet you could kick that thing down to the 15 or 20, couldn't you?
I might need a stretch first now. I helped out with a church camp this summer, and I was punting the ball.
Yeah.
And after doing that twice, I could feel it in my quad.
And how old are you?
22.
Yeah, okay. Talk to me when you're 61. Here come the Indians on first down. Handoff up the middle. It goes to about the Cub 30. A gain of 4 yards on the first down run for Strafford.
Ellis and Anderson with the tackle.
Second down and 6. Thompson out of the quarterback position, takes a low snap. He scoops it up. He's got running room now, and he'll pick up a first down for the Indians.
Just kind of scrambled his way and turned something out of nothing. Chris Calhoun finally brought him down. How many first downs does Strafford have tonight?
That would be one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
On a busted play, it worked well for the Indians. First and 10 from their 38. Here's a handoff up the middle, and this time the Cub defense ready for Mon. As he's knocked down near the line of scrimmage, they'll put him down for a loss of 1.
Tucker Anderson flying in the backfield for the tackle. Said Anderson's name a lot so far.
Yes, you have, on multiple plays, and he's playing a really good first half of defense.
I'm not keeping defensive stats, but if we were, he's got at least 3 tackles for loss. And that's at minimum.
Out of the shotgun again, the Indians with it. A quick pass far side. And a nice catch and a nice gain for Strafford out to about the 45.
Yeah, that was a big gain there for the Indians. You're starting to see a little more life over there on their offense.
Gain of 7 on the play to Compton.
And here comes a big third down for the Cubs defense. Indians offense starting to find their groove. Can you get off the field?
Third down, and we'll call it 3. Under center this time. Quarterback sneak as Thompson gets very close, and I believe he's picked up the first down.
I believe they're going to give him the spot, and he should. They initially stopped him, and then he was able to push forward a little bit more for a couple extra yards.
That's a first down. How come they haven't moved the chains yet? That is a first down. You know, you were talking about Anderson being in the backfield. Last week, the leading tacklers for the Cubs were Tolles and Rivera. Those two led the way. Tonight, you know, there's a host of Cubs that are in the backfield on many of the plays. First down for the Indians, so their drive continues from their own 49-yard line. Handoff up the middle, and the Cubs defense ready for the tailback that time as they knock him down for a loss of 2.
Sam Carr and Aiden Rivera in there for the tackle. Cubs defense trying to keep the 0 on the scoreboard in this first half.
6:35 left here in the first half. Cubs lead at 34-0. Second down and 12 upcoming for the Indians. The Indians have put together back-to-back first downs on this drive, but they face second down and long. 2 receivers to the near side for Strafford. Quarterback works out of the shotgun. Now has motion go from left to right. Thompson back to pass under pressure, loses the ball. It's on the turf, and I believe the Cubs have picked it up.
Sam Carr got the fumble recovery, and that's a massive break for the Cubs defense. They get another turnover. I believe that's their 3rd one of the night.
A loss of 20 and the turnover, and it is their 3rd turnover of the night. 2 interceptions and a fumble. And the Cubs have another short field back as they have it 1st and 10 at the 26.
And it was Tucker Anderson knocking it free.
Again, Tucker Anderson around the ball making things happen. First down for the Cubs. Empty backfield for Washik. Back to pass. looks left, throws deep left, has a man out there. Flag comes out, and I think this is going to be a defensive pass interference.
It should be. And Colin Umfley was the intended receiver, and his jersey got pulled off his shoulder pad before the ball was there.
Yeah, and they're actually putting him back on his pads right there. This should be a penalty on the Indians. And if so, brought to you by Adrenaline Apparel and Design, your one-stop destination for premium, fast, and custom-printed products. So the line of scrimmage is a 26, and the penalty being marked off from there. What is that, normally 15 yards?
I believe so. That should be right.
Should be
Yep.
half the distance to the goal, so a 13-yard penalty. And the Cubs will pick up another first down, and again, all first downs brought to you by ASI. First and 10 for the Cubs from the 13. 3 receivers wide right, 2 to the left. Quick pass out to the near side, caught at the 15-10, down inside the 5. That's August Black. Am I right? I'm wrong.
Sights. Braden Sights.
Okay, it's Sights with the catch. I'm sorry.
His first one of the night, I believe.
Yeah, what am I saying? Nice. Yeah, they don't go both ways. What am I saying?
They never go
It
both
is
ways.
Sights. A gain of 11 and a first down. Here's a handoff to Smith running left, and he's into the end zone for the score.
Antoine Smith now has the hat trick for the Cubs in the first half. 3 touchdowns.
Smith from 2 yards out. Cubs lead 40-0. And they'll go for 2 here. Dylan Washik takes the snap. Will fire it to Meeks, and Meeks steps into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Go ahead.
There just didn't seem like there was much resistance on that play.
There was not. And he stepped into the end zone untouched. And with that, the Cubs lead goes to 42-0. 5:41 left here in the first half. And the Cubs are sending out, are you saying their 5th kicker?
He brought the tee out, but don't look like he's kicking. I think Mercado's going to come back out. He's looking at the sideline.
Okay, let's keep it. Mercado, Edgar,
Edgar Mercado.
6 foot, 285. Your typical place kicker.
That's what I'm talking about. As football was intended. I hope he recovers one.
There's a chance.
Why not?
The way they've been kicking, there's a chance. Could you see him barreling down at you, trying to recover an onside kick? Here's the kick. Oh, he booms it. Booms it. And the crowd cheers. Riley from the west side. Big return by the Indians out to the 40. That's a return of 25 yards. What am I telling you? They got a good return game.
Well, that was their biggest play of the night. Edgar about made the tackle.
He's the conference's largest safety man.
There was someone a couple years ago that had a good-sized kicker.
Well, Lamar always rolls somebody out pretty big.
I think it was Lamar.
Strafford has it first and 10 at the 39. As their quarterback, Gage Thompson, junior quarterback, takes the snap. And he'll give to his tailback, who breaks a couple of tackles and runs to the right side. Knocked down after a gain of 3.
It's a nice wrap-up by August Black to finish the tackle. And he looks a little shaken up now at the end of the play. Takes his helmet off.
James Mon. No, you're talking about a Cub defender.
Yes.
James Mon that time busted a couple of tackles and stretched the play out to the right. Was able to pick up 3. On the night, he has carried it 8 times for -3 yards.
I believe that's August Black that's down. No?
Well,
Might be Chris Spears, actually.
Okay. We will slip away, and we'll be back with more second quarter action after this timeout. Chris Spears that is coming to the near sideline. You just heard from Angus Branch. They are our new post-game sponsor, so welcome aboard. I stopped there for lunch this afternoon.
They got a good breakfast as well.
I've heard a lot about it, and really nice restaurant and really great service out there as well. A reminder that tonight's second quarter brought to you by Wintech. If you're interested in becoming an employee owner with a growing and thriving company, visit their website at wintechinc.com. Click on careers and look for their current openings. Second down and 7 for Strafford. Thompson takes the snap. He'll call his own number, running near side, breaks a couple of tackles, but then is driven down behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third down and long.
Tackle made by number 51, Joshua Hessman.
It's third down.
Third down for the Cubs defense.
Ball at the Indian 42. It's been all Cubs here early as they lead it 42-0.
And the energy was led by the defense tonight. They got it started. Usually it's the offense for the Cubs.
Third down for Strafford. Junior quarterback takes the snap and gives to his tailback, who's knocked down after a gain of a couple. It'll bring up fourth down and about 5.
Yeah, he bounced off his own guy, and I think he just kind of stumbled and tripped.
You know, one thing we have not seen tonight is people slipping on the field. So, you know, good drainage underneath these fields, and the rain that we had earlier is not having any effect on tonight's game at all. The punt upcoming, brought to you by Heritage Tractor, with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. Heritage Tractor, working hard to find the right product for you. Kick down to the Cub 30. A 26-yard punt and a return of about 15 yards, and the Cubs will have it first and 10.
August Black with the return. And it looked like the Indians punter was almost on his knee when he picked up the ball. He got lucky there. They didn't call him down.
Yeah, one knee down, and that would have ended the play right there. Yeah, you kind of thought he did.
I did. He must have been up beforehand.
Cubs will take over at their own 46, first and 10. Dylan Washik out of the quarterback position will roll to the left. Has time, now throws, and this one nearly intercepted as he overthrew Antoine Smith.
Eli Wake almost coming up with an interception. Now, I will say this about Strafford's roster this year. A lot of juniors, a lot of freshmen.
Yeah, they, again, last year featured 17 seniors that filled most of their positions. Here's Smith up the middle with a run. Is tripped up and falls forward to the Indian 49 for a gain of 5 yards.
It's Garrett Rogers with the tackle. Did a good job just wrapping up the legs of Smith and bringing him down.
Third down for Monett. Washik gets a high snap. He'll roll to the right. Throws to the right sideline. The pass is caught by Meeks, but he is out of bounds.
It was a good catch by Meeks, but like you said, it just let a little too far out of bounds. But if you're Washik, that's where you want to put the ball, is where it can't be intercepted, only where your guy can get it. And incompletion is a lot better than interception.
Cubs will keep the offense on the field as it's fourth down and 5. Smith, the tailback, behind Washik. The Indians with 3 down linemen. Might see Smith here on fourth down. Instead, it's Washik looking to throw, and it's caught out there by Nesserode. First down for the Cubs, down inside the 35.
He's done a nice job getting yards after catch tonight.
He's up to 77 yards.
We got an injured Indian on the field.
That first down brought to you by Architectural Systems Incorporated, with locations in Monett, Aurora, and Granby. ASI is expanding. The Cubs with their 12th first down of the contest. First downs tonight and all season long brought to you by Architectural Systems Incorporated. They can turn any concept involving metal into reality. Timeout on the field brought to you by Andy Brandt. Stop by the office to get a free quote today. Stand behind Andy Brandt's shield of shelter. 2:49 left here before halftime. Cubs with it, 1st and 10. Washington takes the snap, hands to Smith, running right, 35-30, 25-20, still on his feet and dives down to the 15. Another Cub first down.
Tripped up by Levi Compton, and if he didn't stop him there, I think Smith might have got his 4th.
Boy, Antoine just runs so easy.
He's patient.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and he is indeed that. But then he knows how to finish a run,
He
too.
runs hard. He's patient and runs hard, which is what you want to see from your running back.
1st and 10 for the Cubs from the 15. Washik back to pass. Fires and has Umfleet, who cuts it up to the 10, to the 5, still on his feet, and backpedals into the end zone for the score.
Colin Umfleet getting his 2nd score of the night, making it look easy.
15-yard touchdown for Umfleet, his first catch.
Well, why not score on it?
Cubs lead it 48-0, and they'll go for 2. That touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Massery, and Randall. This 2-point conversion brought to you by Home Shield Pest Control. Washik throws to the right, has a man wide open in the end zone. That is Seitz. Seitz with a 2-point conversion, and the Cubs have hit the 50-point mark before intermission, and the Cubs are clicking on all cylinders tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, they came out firing. They were playing well on defense. They're playing well on offense. Washik seems calm. He's settled. He's just playing catch with his receivers.
And when you have time and can look
Makes it
at
a lot
the-
easier.
makes it a lot
O-line has
easier.
protected him well, which is what you want to see. A good offensive line will go a long way. And it's one of those things where it goes unnoticed at times, but when it doesn't work, everyone notices.
Absolutely. You know an offensive line does a good job when you don't know anything that they did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No penalties, no sacks. Those are the things you want out of your offensive line. It's a tough job. You don't get a lot of glory, but by gosh,
You'll get glory from your guys that are scoring if they're smart.
that's right. They should take care of that offensive line. Here's a kickoff, and this is a booming kick that hits inside the 10 and checks up at the 1-yard line, and the Indians will take over 1st and 10 inside their 5. And now
Marcado's fired up about it, too.
and a late flag comes out, however, so we'll see what this penalty is. The official from the near sideline threw that flag about 30 yards. And this is something that happened after the plays. This could be a personal foul on the Cubs. The guy down here wanting a safety. Ain't gonna
get that.
Yeah, it's a penalty on the Cubs here.
I think you found your kicker.
Well,
He's booming it.
they went through the whole roster. They found one tonight.
Marcado's booming him.
Yeah, that was a booming kick. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Cubs. Personal foul. So that allows the Indians to have some breathing room as they'll have it out near their 17-yard line. I'm not sure what happened there. It was a late flag, so something happened after the tackle.
There was a little bit of piling on after. He was already brought down when the Cubs defender kind of flew himself in and pinned down.
1st and 10 for Strafford. Handoff up the middle. No, fumble on that handoff, and the Cubs have recovered.
Fumble recovered by number 5, Henry Reed. And the Cubs will get it deep in Strafford territory.
We'll see where they put it down here. It looks like they're going to put it at the 14, so a loss of 3. It just never got to the running back. And the fumble gives it to Monett in great field position at the 14.
Yep, empty set. Got a lot of one-on-ones out here on the side. You could have Nesselrode in press coverage if he beats his man.
Washik back to pass, throws. Miles Young inside the 10, inside the 5, and down near the goal line. A gain of 13 yards and a first down.
Yeah, Young was fighting for that one. He wanted to score. He stretched the ball, just came up short. Nice reception, a nice fight by him to get extra yards after the catch and contact.
Clock rolls with 1:40 left here before halftime. Cubs come out with an empty backfield, so 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Here's a pass to the left side, and that was caught by Eli Esquina. And he'll be dropped for no gain on the play. Washik will work out of the shotgun. He'll hand to the tailback, Smith, and Smith into the end zone.
4 touchdowns now.
A gain of 2 and a score. And he has scored 3 times on the ground. And when we go between extra point and kickoff, I'll explain. I don't know if you know the story behind Eli Esquina or not.
Not fully. I'll let you explain that one.
We might have to check it out for further details on the O-Zone, the sports zone. But he has overcome the number of obstacles just to make the team. Here's a handoff on the 2-point conversion, and the conversion is good.
The Sights running it in, getting the 2-point conversion.
And the Cubs lead it 58-0. Yeah, he's overcome a number of physical type obstacles just to make the team, and they put him in here, and you heard the crowd reaction when he came in and when he came out.
And his buddies were getting fired up on the sideline for him, too.
They were really trying to get him a score.
Yeah, I saw Colin talking to him beforehand, just kind of follow me.
Yeah.
Hey, they tried, and I bet they get him back in at some point. But you like to see that, too. That's a good feel-good moment.
But I had seen that story a couple weeks ago, and Coach Mock is a huge fan of Eli and believes he deserves every opportunity that everyone else does, and he darn near got a score there. Here's a kickoff inside the 35, fielded by the Indians and returned to about the 36. The return by J.D. Adams. Indians will take over 1st and 10.
Well, Cubs defense needs to hold for another 47 seconds to complete a first-half shutout. They now have the largest lead the Cubs have had in the first half since 2019 versus Nevada. That was 42-0 at half.
I'll take your word on that. But I think you're right. 1st and 10 for Strafford inside their own 37. There's a quarterback looking to pass, and he is sacked on the play. That sack brought to you by Prime Cut at 101 East Cleveland in Monett.
Henry Reed lit him up there to finish the tackle. Tucker Anderson also in the backfield.
It's been a tough night for Gage Thompson. Minus 35 running the ball. He's been sacked unofficially 4 times and tackled for a loss a couple other times on run plays. And the Indians will get one more play here potentially as the clock rolls inside 10 seconds. Thompson will hand to his tailback, who has stood up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And that will take us to halftime. It is all Monett Cubs here at intermission. It's Monett 58. The Strafford Indians nothing. We'll be back with the Remax halftime show after this timeout. Talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. The same can be said when you buy or sell a home in the Monett area. And the RE/MAX team has that covered. A reminder that tonight's second quarter was brought to you by Wintech. If you're interested in becoming an employee owner with a growing and thriving company, visit their website at wintechinc.com and click on the Careers tab to see current openings. It's time for tonight's prize giveaway. So be prepared for this, folks. Silver Dollar City, along with the Talon Sports Network and the Children's Smile Center in Aurora, have teamed up to send you on an SDC adventure. Thousands of local families covered by Medicaid have been turning to Children's Smile Center for many years to get quality dental care for their children. If your child is covered by Medicaid, contact Children's Smile Center for an appointment. They will treat you like family. So a great prize tonight. Be the first to call 417-489-2277 and say, "Let's go Cubs," and you'll receive a one-day pass for two for the 2025 season to Silver Dollar City. Again, it's 417-489-2277 and say the catchphrase, "Let's go Cubs." If you're the first caller, you'll win a one-day pass for two to Silver Dollar City. That's a pretty good prize, Ryan.
Yeah, that's a money saver.
It absolutely is. So good luck to all our listeners, and thank you for being with us tonight. 58-0. You've heard me right. 58-0 our score here at intermission. The Cubs lead it. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan with a look at the first half scoring summary.
So first quarter, getting it started on defense. The 10-18 mark, August Black had a 70-yard pick six to kickstart the Cubs night. After a no-good two-point conversion, it was 6-0 Cubs, and they just kicked it in gear after that. Later in the first quarter, Antoine Smith would have a 50-yard touchdown run, making it 12-0. Also in the first quarter, Colin Umfleet would get on the board at the 145 mark with a 3-yard touchdown run, and then he would run in the two-point conversion, making it 20-0. In the second quarter, Antoine Smith would have his second score of the game with an 18-yard touchdown catch, making it 28-0. In the second quarter as well, a 54-yard touchdown catch by Alex Meeks, where he kind of tiptoed to stay in bounds and found his way into the end zone, made it 34-0. 5:41 mark, Antoine Smith would score yet again on a 2-yard touchdown run, making it 42-0 Cubs. 2:05 mark, Colin Umfleet would score again for the second time of the night, a 15-yard touchdown catch, making it 50-0. Then with just 52 seconds remaining, Antoine Smith would score yet again with a 2-yard touchdown run, and then a two-point conversion, made it 58-0 Cubs, your halftime score.
Lots of scoring for the Monett Cubs, and they did it in rapid fashion here in the first half. Monett leads at 58-0. When we return to the RE/MAX halftime show, Ryan and I will take a look at the halftime scoreboard as we monitor 10 or 12 games here in Southwest Missouri. We'll be back with more after this timeout.
There's some fun ones.
to the RE/MAX Monett halftime show. The team at RE/MAX knows the market, they know area schools, and they know local communities, both as agents and as neighbors. Reach out to RE/MAX to find the perfect agent to meet your needs. Cubs lead at 58-0 here in the halftime intermission break. The Monett High School band performing here at intermission. The Cubs all over the Strafford Indians tonight, 58-0. This is just one game of 5 in the Big 8 and other games in the area as well. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan as he'll go over the halftime scoreboard show brought to you by MetaPlans Plus, certified to offer Medicare and Marketplace plans in Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Illinois, and Michigan. Ryan.
We'll start it off with the big game in the state, obviously, and that's Webb City at Nixa. At the half, the Eagles lead it by 7, 14-7 at halftime. Low-scoring affair, but a great game going on there at Nixa. Lebanon leads Joplin by just 1, 14-13. A good one brewing there. Carthage up on Ozark on the road, 21-0 at halftime. Marshfield, the Blue Jays, up 21-6 over the Wolves at the half. Then we'll move over to the Big 8. Lamar up 15-0 over East Newton, late second quarter. Last score update was Seneca 7-3 over Mount Vernon in the second quarter as well. And here's the big one that Cubs fans are going to want to keep their eye on. Nevada versus Aurora. Nevada obviously beat the Cubs last week. Cubs face the Aurora Hound Dogs next week. And it's all Tigers, 42-0 at half. So that one, the Cub fans are going to be watching going into next week saying, hey, that's another winnable game there. And when you get Monett and Aurora together, those are two fan bases that want some bragging rights when they go into work on Monday. Cassville, McDonald County. We said that could be another good one. Mustangs taking tremendous steps this year. They beat Lamar last week. Wildcats look good, lost a tough one to Seneca. It's all tied up at the half. 14-all at the break. Who am I missing, Benji? Mount Vernon? I don't know that one.
I think you hit them.
I think I hit them, yeah.
You hit them all. So lots of big scores at halftime, none bigger than the one here, 58-0. But you're right, people eyeballing that Nevada-Aurora game, Tigers all over the Hound Dogs. You know, yes, the Monett fans are saying we can go get another win in week 3.
Well, my dad just came in handy there. He just messaged me. Seneca is up 28-3 at the half. Look at him doing my work for me.
There you go. On the payroll. We need to get him on the payroll. You were telling me, too, the Kansas City Chiefs are trailing in their game?
Trailing to the Chargers 10-3.
First half, I guess?
Yeah, it was. They hit the 2-minute warning just now.
Okay, there you go. That game on YouTube, I think? It's on a different
Xavier
platform.
Worthy, I did say, it's 13-3 Chargers now, excuse me, under a minute left. But Xavier Worthy did go out. I'm not sure if he returned. Him and Travis collided on crossing routes.
Oh, good gosh. Of course, are they playing without Rasheed Rice already?
Yes.
She's suspended
Yes.
for 6, so.
That one's in San Paulo.
Yes.
I have a few friends at that game that went to Pitt State last year. They're from
Really?
Brazil, yeah.
Nice.
3 of them.
Well, that would be thrilling for them. I'm sure a good time being had by the folks down in Brazil for that. Here at halftime, the Cubs lead it big. We're going to slip away here from some of our sponsors, and we will be back with more of the RE/MAX Monett halftime show after this timeout. The Remax Monett halftime show. At intermission, the Cubs lead it big, 58-0, and they dominate the stats as well. Monett in the first half with 13 rushes for 144 yards, 12 out of 19 passing for 215 yards. So the Cubs strike for 359 yards of offense in the first half. They put together 15 first downs. They did have one turnover on a punt return, 8 penalties for 48 yards. So, again, penalties a little bit of a problem, but a number of those were kickoffs that went out of bounds. And I think they may have found their solution.
I think they found their kicker.
For the Strafford Indians, they rushed the ball 23 times for minus 48 yards. 3 of 9 passing for 27 yards. So the Indians unofficially at minus 21 yards in the first half. They had 2 first downs, 4 turnovers, 4 costly turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 lost fumbles, 3 penalties for 23 yards, and 5 punts for 24.6 yard average. Individually for the Monett Cubs, they're led on the ground by Antoine Smith, 11 carries for 114 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns, and Colin Umfleet, 2 carries for 30 yards and a score as well. Dylan Washik, 12 of 19 passing, as he has hit 7 different receivers tonight, as Miles Young with 1 catch for 13 yards, Antoine Smith 2 catches for 37 yards and a score. Braden Seitz with a catch for 11 yards. Carson Nesselrode 77 yards on 4 grabs. Colin Unfleet with a 15-yard touchdown reception. Alex Meeks, 62 yards and a score. And then late in the first half, Eli Esquina with a catch as well. Congratulations to him for getting on the scoreboard, or at least in the scorebook.
I could see them trying to get him on the scoreboard now. If they get another one real close, I could see him trying to put him in, get him a score. You had 2 different halftimes this evening, and honestly, it's just flipped the script from last year. Last year, going into halftime, it was the Indians going on, feeling pretty good at halftime, up huge over the Cubs. And there was the Cubs going in the locker room, really having to look themselves in the mirror, look each other in the eye, and have some difficult conversations. Now it's the flip side this year. If you're the Indians, yeah, you have to have some tough conversations in the locker room. You got to figure something out. If you're the Cubs, yeah, you feel pretty good, but you also can be better.
Absolutely, and you keep working on trying to get better as you go along. It's time for us to take a look at our college picks, and you, young man, started off strong last week. 7 out of 10 last week to take the lead. I got half of them right. Irwin, 4 out of 10. So rough week for Irwin, but he's looking to rally this week. So let's just start off here. Boston College at Michigan State. All 3 of us went with the Spartans. That's a 2 or 3 point type game, but Michigan State playing at home, I think we all went that way. I was the lone person to pick Illinois at Duke. What's your thought on that one?
Duke's got a new quarterback, Derek Mensa. They're very high on him. He was at Tulane last year, had a great year. I am very high on Duke. Coach Manny Diaz, he's going to do great things for the Blue Devils.
Very good. We all went with Arizona State over Mississippi State. Mississippi State's going to be improved this year, but I just don't know if they're improved enough to get the Sun Devils. We all went with SMU playing at home against the Baylor Bears. Virginia, North Carolina State. Irwin and I went with North Carolina State. You went with Virginia.
I did go with Virginia. The Wolfpack has a very questionable secondary. Virginia throws the ball a lot. Those are one of those games in college football that sometimes the upset can happen. So give me Virginia.
You and Irwin went with Vanderbilt over Virginia Tech. I changed my pick this morning. I went with the Hokies. Not sure why. Playing at home, a slight favorite, so I went with them.
Why not?
Then we get down here to the bottom. Iowa State, always a good game. Always a good game. All 3 of us went with the Cyclones in that one.
Last year I was the only one then with the Cyclones, and they ended up winning the game very late, last second. I like Matt Campbell. I'm very high on Iowa State.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Oklahoma and Michigan. Michigan traveling down to Sooner Land. We all went with Oklahoma to win that one.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very excited. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a good game.
I'm telling you.
2 teams with question marks and bad seasons last year that both want to prove themselves.
Sooners by 2 scores in that one.
I hope you're right. You were right about Pitt State beating Ferris State last year. That was a big pick.
There you go. And then Kansas at Missouri. Two of us were logical. One was swayed by, I'm not sure what, but
Benji, I am from the great state of Missouri. I will tell you that right now. I love the great state of Missouri. I go to school in that place called Kansas, and my roommates are very big Rock Chalk Jayhawk fans.
Sad.
I hope Sammy Clapper does not get to hear this
Sad.
part of the broadcast, but I did pick the Jayhawks for them.
And just like I said, Oklahoma by 2 scores, I'm saying Mizzou by 2 scores.
Honestly, I probably agree with you, but I had to.
Well, let's just say this. If the feelings of the stands could migrate to the field,
It'd be
Mizzou would
by
win
a lot.
by 50.
A lot.
You know, so I think it's honestly, until they broke, away and went to the Southeast Conference, I think it was the second most played game in all of college football. You know what I'm talking about, the rivalry.
Yeah.
They had the second most.
Do you know the most?
Oh, boy.
I can tell you who it is. It's a Big Ten rivalry.
Well, I would guess Ohio State, Michigan.
It is Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Very good. And they play for the jug or something, didn't
Yeah,
they?
something
Or
like that, yeah.
Who knows? But, yeah. And so I'm glad they're renewing this, even if it's just for 2 years.
I hate neutral sites, but this is one instance where if you put it Arrowhead, I would be okay with it.
Well, there have been some good games at Arrowhead with this one. And I believe Mizzou holds a minor lead in that series, something like 59, 56, and 7 or something crazy like that.
I know my friends that I grew up with that are Mizzou fans are going to let me hear it for picking KU, especially in football.
Sad, I'm telling you.
It was a desperation pick. Had to be different somehow.
And you know what? Kansas is going to have a good season. There's no doubt about it.
I do like Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas. He did very good things at the University of Buffalo, and he's done good things for Kansas compared to Kansas' expectations and where they have been.
And you know what? I tell you this. If Mizzou was destined for an 0-12 season and Kansas was destined for 12-0, I'd pick Mizzou to win that game no matter what. Just because I could never pick the Jayhawks.
Well, if Sammy heard me do that, I don't know if I'd have a job anymore.
Well, I'll vouch for you. I want you to stick around. Here at halftime, Cubs lead at 58. Nothing will slip away, and we'll be back with third quarter action after this timeout. Come see the team at RE/MAX, located at 855 Highway 60 in Monett. We received word that tonight's winner of our special giveaway was Lisa Lamp. And Janet was texting me and said that the phone lit up when we got that. And I'm glad that we have listeners out there that are calling in. And I believe we're going to have similar giveaways throughout the remainder of the year. Janet was saying it's the biggest phone load for years, and I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to her. Hope
Absolutely.
She
enjoys that trip down to Silver Dollar City. Here we go in the third quarter. Kickoff in the air. Cubs with it. A return to the right sideline to the 40 to midfield. Down to the Cubs 40, 35. He's going to go. It's Miles Young. Young to the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Cubs. That one goes for 69 yards.
Miles Young getting his first touchdown since I believe his sophomore year.
And what a nice return. He split a couple of would-be tacklers and then cut it back to the middle of the field and outraced the defense to the end zone And the Cubs lead at 64-0. That's a good return.
It
Good.
was. He did a good job finding his lane and then cutting it back. And a good job of not blocking the back on the return.
Yeah, I was going to say no penalties on that fine return. 11:46 left here in the third quarter. The Cubs are going to go 4-2. Before they do that, there is a timeout on the field.
They do got Eli back in the game.
Timeout brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Andy Brandt. Stop by the office to get a free quote today. Stand behind Andy Brandt's Shield of Shelter. They do have Eli back in there.
They put him back in. I think Mock might try to draw something up for him here.
Well, we'll see. It would be nice to see that he could get on the scoreboard tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be a good moment. But you got to get in.
Yeah.
They ain't going
right.
to give it to you.
And, you know, I'm glad that he has this opportunity,
Yeah.
you know. So here come the Cubs. Let's see. Is he out here to the right?
Yeah, he's out here to the right side.
Yes, he's outside the hash mark.
Miles Young get him lined up.
He is lined up. We'll see if they'll go that way, guarantee. Here's Washik. He throws to Eli, and the two-point conversion is no good. Monett touchdown, brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall. With over 80 years of experience, the team at Randall, Mastery, and Randall will handle your legal matters effectively. Call 417-235-8688 for all your legal and title service needs. The Extra Point sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. You'll get quality customer service, affordable prices, and a pest-free guarantee at Home Shield Pest Control, serving Monett and the surrounding area. Call 417-772-4177 to schedule your next visit. Cubs kickoffs sponsored by Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. With branches in 7 locations, Freedom Bank has met a wide variety of your needs since 1999. And kickoff is in the air, a booming kick again. That is fielded at the 20, and that's where the Indians will have it 1st and 10.
He's got a good leg on that left leg.
I'm telling you, Edgar is the man.
That's your kicker for the year, Edgar Mercado. Left-legged.
There he is.
He's celebrating.
Raising the roof.
Didn't even know he'd be able to kick this year, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, let me try, Coach.
Well, I'm glad he's been successful, to say the least. 1st and 10 for the Indians as they have it at their own 20-yard line. Thompson working on a long count. He draws the Cubs offside. That'll be a free 5 yards.
Got to watch the ball. I will say the Cubs receivers this week have done better not reacting to the clap of Dylan and then going when the ball is actually snapped. Last week that was a problem for them.
Yeah, they had a lot of pre-snap infractions a week ago. This the 9th penalty on the Cubs. 1st and 5, Indians. Thompson out of the shotgun, takes the snap, back to pass, throws over the middle. It's caught, and a 1st down for Strafford.
Caught by Jake Berg. And that was a good play there for the Indians. Get a little something going here. See if they can't find something to build on going into week 3.
Indians pick up their 3rd 1st down out to their own 36-yard line, and that was a confident play from the Indians there. See if they can build upon that. Junior quarterback out of the shotgun, now looks to the far side to get the play call. Thompson takes the snap, he rolls right, throws right. Pass is caught out there, nice run after catch out to about the 40-yard line.
Aiden Rivera with the tackle. If you're Coach Hester here for Strafford, you're just looking for those guys that aren't giving up, they're still playing, and you're trying to find your guys that are going to be making plays for you going down the line this season.
You're absolutely right. And that was Berg again, I believe, with a catch.
Couple receptions for him to start this second half.
Gain of 5. Second down for the Indians. Motion Berg from left to right. Thompson takes the snap. He'll call his own number. Tries to cut it up, but the Cub defense will have none of it as they stand him up at the 40 for a loss of a yard.
That's Henry Reed standing him up for a loss. That'll bring up third down for the Indians.
Third down and 6.
I like what they've done here on third down to give more life to their defense. We got the music for it. The whole sideline's getting pumped up. That's good. They needed that energy on defense last week. It just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, and it started from the first snap of the game tonight, too.
And those are the adjustments I wanted to see the Cubs make in week 2.
Thompson out of the shotgun, back to pass, looks right. He throws right, pass is caught, and a nice run after a catch will be close to a first down.
Sam Carr finally pushed him out. We'll see where they spot the ball here. They'll mark him well short.
Oh, yeah, he must have stepped out before he made that last dive. Picked up only a couple. Good effort, however, out of the backfield, and that'll set up fourth down. Looks like a punting situation. This punt brought to you by Heritage Tractor, with equipment ranging from utility tractors to recreational vehicles. Heritage Tractor, working hard to find the right product for you.
High snap there.
Good kick that hits and takes an Indian bounce inside the 30 down to the 28. So a 29-yard punt with no return. And the Cubs will take over first and 10.
See when the Cubs start to kind of work in some newer players here.
Right now.
Yep, it looks like it's happening.
It's happening right now.
Dylan Washik will stay in the game. It looks like some new receivers have come in.
Yeah, and you're going to have to help me.
I got you.
Because I'm just telling you.
Number 13, which is Dante Ngini.
Well, we'll see who catches some here. Here's Washik. He's going to go deep to the right and overshoots his intended receiver. I believe that was Nesselrode.
In coverage was number 88, Bryant Crocker.
Yeah, I definitely see some new numbers out there. I see an 18 on the far side.
Boomer Stout in, number 36.
Washik again out of the shotgun. Throws to Nesselrode, who makes the catch. Spins his way to the 45 for a gain of 17.
Good catch by Nesselrode. He's having a decent night.
Another first down brought to you by ASI. From the 45, here come the Cubs. Washik hits Nesselrode on the screen to the 50 and spins his way into Indian territory to the 47. That'll be a gain of 8.
Nesselrode's done a nice job when he's had contact tonight, getting extra yards after.
Second down and 2. Tailback is Seitz. We might see him carry the ball here on 2nd and 2. Oh, instead there's movement up front. This is going to be an infraction against the Cubs.
I wonder who the Cubs' backup quarterback will be this year.
Well, Umfleet. Could it be
You
Umfleet?
could have Umfleet if you don't want to put him freshman-wise. I know Tucker Gates plays quarterback.
Well,
Last year's backup was a senior, I believe, wasn't he? Besides Colin.
I think you're right. Second down and 7 from the Cub 48. Washik back to pass. Will throw deep down the middle. Has Nesselrode off his fingertips. It's incomplete.
Yeah, just couldn't connect with Nesselrode there. Had him open. Nesselrode beat the defenders. Just goes off his fingertips. Another new receiver coming into the game now for the Cubs. That one is number 19, Theo Smith. He's a freshman.
Nesserode to the sideline after that long route. Washik will turn and hand to Seitz. Up the middle he goes. First down and more, down to the Indian 38.
That was a good carry there by Seitz. She exploded upfield, got the first down. It looks like there's an Indian slow to get up.
13-yard gain. And another first down for the Monett Cubs. First down's brought to you by Architectural Systems Incorporated, a full-service forming, fabricating, finishing, and engineering company. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. We'll be back after this quick break. Back at Burrow Fowler on 1st and 10, a shuttle pass to Seitz, but a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold against the Cubs, so that'll negate the short gain on the pass. Penalty will move the Cubs back.
Also now in for the Cubs is number 18, Michael Diaz.
And new guys up front as well.
I'll try to get some of them as well.
I see a number 60, Luis Serrano.
Keegan Snodgrass in at receiver.
Washik back to pass with time, pump fakes. Now scrambles left, throws left. The pass is incomplete on the far sideline.
Dante and Guinea.
Yeah, Dante wanting to run before he caught it that time, and it falls incomplete.
It's got to look it in. The young guy a little excited there, was going to get the ball.
And he was open.
He was.
Yeah.
Washington did a good job of evading defenders, staying patient, buying time.
Second down and 20. Clock rolls with 3:15 left. Washik will flip it to Nesselrode. Near side, he cuts it up and picks up about 9 yards. Well, they'll actually spot him back at the 42, so that'll be a gain of 7 on the play.
Jalen Thorndike with the tackle for the Indians. Make it more third and manageable.
3rd and 13 from the 42-yard line. Cubs with 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield for Washik. Play clock inside 10 seconds here as the Cubs reset. Washik straight back to pass. Will throw deep down the middle for Seitz, who is unable to come up with the reception off his hand. It is incomplete.
Yeah, just wasn't able to reel it in. Beautiful ball by Dylan Washik. Dropped it right over his shoulder. Just wasn't able to connect.
That's kind of a tough catch. I mean, he was looking kind of over his, over his head, but definitely in the right spot. Good effort by quarterback and wide receiver. 4th down and 13. From the 42, Washik will roll to the left, now throw back to the right for Nesselrode. Has him out there, but overshoots him by a yard or 2. And on downs, the Indians will take over.
Cubs defense will come back on the field with under 140 remaining. See if they can hold that shutout or the Indians can get on the board. See if we get some new defensive players for the Cubs and some new offensive players for the Indians.
And keep in mind, we're just in quarter number 3 here, so Cub to get the shutout will have to go for the next 13 and a half minutes. Indians will take over at their own 42-yard line.
At their own 42-yard line.
Thompson out of the shotgun, has a tailback behind him. 2 receivers wide to the right. On first down, back to pass, throws, and the pass caught after a gain of about 6, and a late hit comes in as well.
And they throw the flags, 2 of them. Berg got another catch. He's had a good second half.
Yeah, 3 different catches. And they're going to tack on 15 yards on this one. Berg kind of went up, and he was hit by one Cub, and then a second Cub came in and finished the play, and I think it was the second guy who got the penalty.
Defense, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So that's going to give the Indians their best field position of the night, down to the Cub 37.
Well, the first drive they started on the 35
Oh, that's right. So I stand corrected.
by about 2 yards.
Yeah, and that was on the opening kickoff. That was penalized 5 yards after it rolled out of bounds at the 40. I'm telling you, we'll
Who
never
would have
see
thought
that.
how the game would have gone at that point?
We'll never see that again.
4 kicks out of bounds. And
Yeah, in the first quarter.
Mercado saves the day.
Out of the shotgun. Thompson back to pass, throws deep down the right side, and it's off the hands of the would-be receiver. It falls incomplete. A good ball from the junior quarterback that time.
Easton Willard, the intended receiver in coverage, was Deshaun Collins.
Pretty good coverage, but just an excellent ball from the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. A reminder that the third quarter tonight brought to you by Cork Cattle Company, a one-stop shop for all your Hereford, Black Angus, and Charolais generic needs. Cork Cattle Company is located 1/2 mile south of Interstate 44, 8 miles north of Pierce City on Highway 97. Again, third quarter brought to you by Cork Cattle Company in Pierce City. All Cubs 64-0 here. We'll keep it right here as we go along and remind you that the fourth quarter tonight is brought to you by Hydro Extrusions, located at 808 County Road in Monett. Hydro Extrusions offers the knowledge and competence in finding the best possible solution for your aluminum project every time. And, you know, going back to some of our sponsors, it's great that we welcome on Angus Branch Steakhouse tonight as our post-game sponsor, but some of our new sponsors like Cork Cattle Company, for instance, we are so appreciative of all the area merchants that support us.
Absolutely we are, because we couldn't do it without them, and you know I'm very loyal to our food sponsors when we get them. So it'll be Angus Branch this year for me.
There you go. I know you were the Sonic kid there for a while.
Well, not anymore. I refused.
Oh, I still go to Sonic.
No.
Well, like I said, I stopped by Angus Branch earlier today.
That'll
Good
be
food, good service.
To my Saturday destination now.
Screen pass is incomplete, and it'll bring up second down.
Thompson pass intended for James Monett.
Cubs defense trying to hold on here. Third down. I do like to see the Cubs coach staff still trying to get everyone engaged on the sideline, keep that energy going even though you're up big. It would be big for the Cubs defense to be able to say they completed a shutout, but it would also be big for the Indians offense to be able to get something going this year.
Absolutely. You know, they were shut out a week ago at Liberty, Mountain View Liberty, and looking to get on the scoreboard here in week 2. Flags come out here. There's going to be a pre-snap infraction on the Indians. That penalty brought to you by Adrenaline Apparel and Design, your one-stop destination for premium, fast, and custom printed products. Sorry, timeout on the field instead, and that timeout brought to you by Shelter Insurance Andy Brandt. Andy will make sure you get the right coverage at the right price. Call or text 417-235-5603 to request a free quote. 3rd down and 10 upcoming when we resume action. Cubs are going to feel a lot better about themselves after week 2.
Yeah, that's a big flip, and you've seen them correct some things that you would have liked them to see in week 1. Washington's looked a lot more comfortable tonight. Hasn't had as much pressure. O-line's held up better. D-line has won the line of scrimmage tonight, and they've been able to get pressure on the quarterback.
And it's obvious that Strafford is in a rebuild season.
Yes.
You know, coming off a season that saw seniors play all the time, and they have younger players out there. You said a lot of juniors and a lot of freshmen dot that roster, and you're right. So they're going to go through some growing pains this year, and the Cubs are taking advantage of that here tonight. 3rd down and 10. Thompson takes a low snap. He'll roll to the left under some pressure. Breaks a couple of tackles, but is finally slung down at the 47.
Aiden Rivera there to finally clean it up and bring him down. That'll bring up 4th and very long for the Indians.
That sack brought to you by Prime Cut, with great smoked meats, fresh steaks, and much, much more. Stop by 101 East Cleveland in Monett when you need a single meal or full catering. It'll be 4th down and about 18 from the 45. And the Indians will keep the offense on the field and go for it here as the clock rolls with 10.5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Thompson takes a low snap. He'll throw it deep left side, and this one is incomplete. And while it could have been an interception, it's probably better that he let it fall position field for better position on the field.
Yeah, it's better that it goes incomplete. Cubs will get better field position from it. That was number 21 for the Cubs, either Ben Tate or Luis Silva.
Yeah.
Got 2 21s.
Well, let's see. Well, they're both about the same size, so it's tough to tell. Here come the Cubs. Washik will flip it to Nessel Road on a screen, and he'll cut it upfield to get across the 50 down to about the 44 for a gain of 11 and a 1st down.
Good 1st down play for the Cubs.
Cubs now with 18 1st downs. Here's Washik throwing it deep left for Seitz, who makes the catch to the 10-5 and into the end zone for the score from 44 yards out.
And Washik, have yourself a night, young man. Another touchdown pass by him.
And it was right on the money. Seitz caught it at about the 15 and raced in for the score. And the Cubs have hit the 70-point mark, Ryan.
I don't know if I've ever seen the Cubs at 70 points.
And not in football. Basketball every once in a while. On the 2-point conversion, Washik just takes the knee.
How long was that touchdown pass, baby?
Well, let me go back and take a quick look. It was 44 yards.
44 yards.
44 yards. The touchdown brought to you by the law offices of Randall Mastery and Randall. With over 80 years of experience, their team can handle your legal matters effectively. Call 417-235-8688 for all your legal and title service needs. The Extra Point sponsored by Home Shield Pest Control. You'll get quality customer service, affordable prices, and a pest-free guarantee at Home Shield Pest Control. Cubs kickoff sponsored by Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. With branches in 7 locations, Freedom Bank has met a wide variety of your banking needs since 1999. And those sponsors have got their names called a lot here tonight. Lots of scores.
They're getting their money's worth tonight.
They are. And Mercado.
Let's see what he's got this time. He's boomed a couple. He's had a couple just kind of good.
Let's see what he does here. He booms it again. Big kick down to about the 8. The ball fumbled there and scooped up at the 6. Return across the 10 to the 15 and short of the 20. That's where Strafford will take over 1st and 10.
Aiden Rivera will be credited with the stop. Cubs defense back on the field. Clock rolls, going to be under 9 minutes remaining.
Well, I'm telling you right now, players of the game, one of them's going to be the kicker.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Mercado's got to get one.
And
I got a couple in mind.
And we're going to do an offense, a defense, and a special teams tonight.
All right. Yeah, he's earned a special spot.
I'm president of his fan club right here.
Okay.
1st and 10 for the Indians from the 18. And here's a handoff up the middle. It goes for a gain of a couple, bring up 2nd down and 8.
Tackle made by number 75, Perry Azelton.
Cubs with a lot of fresh faces out there on the defensive side of the ball. As the clock rolls with 8 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Thompson at quarterback, sends 2 receivers wide to the right, tight end stationed on the left side. Thompson takes the snap and he'll give on a handoff up the middle. It goes across the 20 to the 25. Nice hard run there for the Strafford back as he gets out to about the 26 for a gain of 4.
Number 21, Ben Tate with the tackle. And like I said in the pregame video, I wanted to see gang tackling from the Cubs. And so far, you've seen that tonight for them. It's not just been one guy, it's been multiple. They've been flying to the football.
You're absolutely right. And they have been everywhere tonight. 3rd down and 1. Out at the 27-yard line. Under center on this play is Thompson. Thompson will call his own number on the sneak and is able to plunge forward to the 30 for a gain of 3.
Aiden Rivera and Chris Calhoun with the tackle.
Indians pick up their 5th first down. They have it right at the 30. As we see Joshua Hessman help the officials tidy up some things between plays. Retrieving the football for the umpire. Thompson will go back to shotgun, bring motion from right to left, and he'll give up the middle. It goes, and the biggest run of the night for the Indians, a gain of 12 for Mon.
Ben Tate finally getting the tackle for the Cubs, but a first down for the Indians keeps their drive alive.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Clock rolls inside 6 minutes left. And again, a handoff up the middle it comes, and Mahan able to get it to the 49 for a gain of 7.
Reed Eaton with the tackle.
Ball at the 49, 2nd down and 3. As the clock continues to roll. Thompson works out of the shotgun. Now brings motion from left to right. And again, he'll give to his tailback. Up the middle he goes, down to the Cub 46 for a gain of 5 and a first down.
Perry Azelton bringing him down.
First and 10 from the 46. Indians have found some success here on the ground during this drive. We'll see if they hand it off to their tailback again here on first down. Movement up front, that'll be a penalty on the Cubs. Guy closest to the ball too, Ryan.
Yeah, hard to explain yourself on that one, but it happens.
Most of the folks here on the west sideline have hung around in this one. The Cubs led it big at halftime and have added on to it here in the 3rd and 4th quarters. First down and 5. Thompson will flip it out to the left side. The pass caught, and for a gain of about a yard.
Couple Cubs there to bring him down. I believe that's Cody Knowlton with the tackle.
Second down and 4. Ball resting at the 40-yard line. And the clock rolls with 3.5 minutes left in this one. The game really decided early tonight. It's been all Cubs throughout as they lead at 70-0. Here's a handoff up the middle it goes, and another good hard run by Mann. Mann able to pick up another first down, a gain of 4 on the play.
Indians have found their success on the ground now in the fourth quarter.
Ball down to the Cub 36. Still not quite their best field position of the night. Two receivers now split wide right for the Indians. Now motion from right to left. Handoff goes to the tailback. Up the middle he goes. Sidesteps a couple of tacklers and takes the pile forward inside the 30 for a gain of 9.
Another nice gain for the Indians, brought down by a host of Cubs. A lot of fresh faces on the Cubs defense.
A lot of smaller guys in there, you can tell, and they just hung on for dear life at the end of that run. Second down and 1 from the 27. Again, it's the tailback up the middle with running room. Pounds his way inside the 20 for a first down.
Carson Waltrip with the tackle, and you can bet the Indians are going to try to get at least one on the board here before this one's over.
Gain of 9. Indians now with 9 first downs. Several of them coming on this drive. Clock rolls inside 2 minutes. First and 10. Strafford at the 18. Two receivers now wide to the right. Tight end stationed on the left side of the line. As Thompson will work out of the shotgun. And now a timeout on the field.
And the first team defense going to come back on the field for the Cubs.
Yep. Timeout on the field called by the Cubs. Timeouts brought to you by insurance agent Andy Brandt. Andy will make sure you get the right coverage at the right price. Call or text 417-235-5603 to request a free quote. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I do. I know you want to maintain a shutout.
Yep.
But the score is often forgotten over time. People fall on both sides of this.
I understand both sides of it.
I do too, and I've been on both sides of scores like this. Not in football, but on the basketball court, and it's tough. First and 10 from the 18. Thompson will take the snap and hand to a tailback, and the Cub defense there to swallow him up for a loss of 3.
Yeah, they were all over him on the edge there, bringing him down. Number 5, Henry Reed.
We're not used to Henry in a number 5. Sporting that number tonight for the first time. Second down and 13 from the 21. Strafford needs to throw the ball here, Ryan, if they want to score. Thompson will work under center. He'll roll back to pass. Outside the pocket, now throws to the end zone, and this one is overthrown and is incomplete.
Yeah, this goes out of the back of the end zone. 2 Cubs defenders in the area.
And the Indians now, unless they call a timeout, they may have one play left here to get into the end zone as the clock rolls inside 20 seconds.
I will say, I know it's not gone their way, but Gage Thompson's at least played gutsy today. He's not quitting. He's taking a lot of hits.
And the Indians elect not to snap the ball again, so the Cubs will post the shutout tonight. Our final from Burl Fowler, the Monett Cubs 70, the Strafford Indians nothing. We'll be back with the Angus Branch Steakhouse postgame after this timeout. Angus Branch Steakhouse postgame show, whether it's their weekend buffet, everyday lunch buffet, or weekly specials at supper time, Angus Branch takes care of the cooking for you. Big thanks to second half sponsors tonight, third quarter, brought to you by Court Cattle Company, a one-stop shop for all your life, all of your Hereford, Black Angus, and Charolais genetic needs. Court Cattle Company is located 1/2 mile south of Interstate 44, 8 miles north of Pierce City on Highway 97. In the fourth quarter, brought to you by Hydro Extrusions. Hydro is a leading aluminum and renewable energy company committed to a sustainable future. For rewarding career opportunities, come join the Hydro family. Tonight, the Cubs win at 70-0, a game dominated throughout by offense and defense. I'm going to turn it over at this point so that Ryan can go over tonight's scoring summary.
Don't mind at all. We'll start from the beginning on this one, Benji. First quarter, 10-18 mark, getting it started on defense, and that would set the tone for the night. August Black, a 70-yard pick six to get it going, making it 6-0 Cubs. Later in the first quarter, 6:22 mark, Anton Smith, a 50-yard touchdown run. He showed his explosiveness tonight, making it 12-0. 1:45 left in the first quarter. Colin Umfleet would have his first score of the night, 3-yard touchdown run. Then he would run in the 2-point conversion, making it 20-0 Cubs. In the second quarter, the Cubs really piled it on. 10:20 mark, Antoine Smith would have an 18-yard touchdown catch, making it 28-0 after a Colin Umfleet 2-point conversion. Later in the second quarter, 9:06 marks a 54-yard touchdown catch by Alex Meeks. It was a good ball by Dylan Washik. Meeks kind of tiptoed the sideline, pushed off the defender, and got into the end zone, and that made it 34-0. Also in the second quarter, 5:41 mark, Antoine Smith would have a 2-yard touchdown run, making it 42-0. 2:05 mark, Colin Umfleet would have a 15-yard touchdown catch, making it 50-0. And then with just 52 seconds remaining in the half, Antoine Smith would have a 2-yard touchdown run, making it 58-0 after a 2-point conversion. In the third quarter, to start the third quarter, the opening kickoff, Miles Young had a 69-yard kick return for a touchdown, made it 64-0 Cubs. And then the fourth quarter, the last score of the night would go to Brandon Seitz with a 49-yard touchdown catch from Dylan Washik. Your final score of the night, the Monett Cubs 70, the Strafford Indians 0.
Offensive explosion tonight for the Cubs. Their defense played very well tonight, dominating the line of scrimmage from the onset. Cubs with a big win to even their record at 1-1. The Strafford Indians fall to 0-2 in the young season. We'll slip away here from more of our sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Angus Branch Steakhouse postgame show after this timeout. Steakhouse postgame show. Be sure to stop by Angus Branch and try one of their mouth-watering steaks or signature sandwiches. A reminder that your broadcast team, brought to you by A-List Properties, for all your real estate needs, their team will work hard for you and your family. As we approach the 9:30 hour, I want to remind you you're listening to Monett Cub Football on KKBL 95.9 FM in Monett. Tonight's interview with Coach Mock brought to you by Four State Dental Care, with a team of professionals that provides comprehensive and compassionate care. They work together to give you and your family exceptional dentistry in a friendly environment. Well, Coach Mock, what a difference a week makes.
Yeah, no, I think, our kids were highly motivated after, watching the film from last year, and they said, Coach, they scored 69, but they were trying to score more. I said, yeah, that's, you remember last year at Strafford, we had a pretty good crowd. The whole town of Monett went down there, and we only had like 2 or 3 returning starters, and they really put it on us. So our kids were motivated in practice as in their preparation, and they went out there and played really well.
You could tell, and it all started up front with your guys on the offensive line and the defensive line. Your quarterback was seldom pressured tonight, and the defense was all over their quarterback.
Yeah, we played with a lot of tenacity up front. They did a good job protecting Dylan, and as our offense line goes, that's how our offense goes, and they played really well tonight, opening a lot of holes for Antoine and Colin and Braden, and that takes pressure off Dylan's shoulders and allows us to open up the passing game a little bit. So all around, good job on offense, and our defense, like you said, they flew around. They came out right from the beginning, and they said, Coach, we're not going to let them score. I said, all right. And then at the end there, we thought they were going down to score, and they kept begging me, and I looked over at the AD, Coach Gates, and I said, you want me to stop him? He said, yeah, go stop him. So we let those guys go out there and play 2 more plays.
Yeah, and put the finishing touches on a big win, and now 1-1 on the season. Looking forward to week 3 now with the Aurora Hound Dogs.
Yeah, I know they have a good football team. We watched them a little bit against Mount Vernon. They got some good players, and so we're going to have our hands full, but we have to get a good week of preparation to get ready to go down there and play a good game.
You know what? Your offense featured some more running tonight.
Yeah.
Antoine Smith finished with over 100 yards tonight and scored 3 times, and he did a good job running the ball, and Carson Nesserode had a big night catching again.
Yeah, no, there's weapons all over the field. You look at Antoine and Colin, and then you got Carson and Alex on the outside, and Miles and Braden and Michael Diaz, and we got some other kids that are coming in there, and they're getting better each week. So there's lots of weapons, and it makes it fun to spread the ball around, just let those guys go make plays.
And, you didn't have very many offensive plays tonight. You really didn't.
Yeah, no, I think at halftime we had like 36, maybe 35 to 40 plays, and but they were executing. There's some things we can get better at, but, you'd rather correct those after a win than a loss.
You went up to about 450 on offense tonight, 17 of 29 passing, 14 rushes tonight for 160 yards. So you got kids that are being very successful, and if any of your kids are as wiry as your daughter, you're going to have some good football players.
Oh, yeah, no, she's so excited. She took it a little personal last year, after the loss to Strafford too, and so we, our kids really, it's funny, being in a small town, and they really, we almost like they were defending Monett after what happened last year, and so they came out ready to play.
It's nice to see them play. You got so many kids in too. Ryan was saying, I wonder when we're going to start seeing some of the second team, and I looked out and I said right now, because you could tell there was a lot of younger guys out there.
Yeah, we're working the second and third string quarterback and getting those ready. So, Dylan, after last week and just watching his maturity, just wanted to keep him in rhythm, keep him out there, and give him some guys to throw to. But really that second group, there's some pretty good athletes coming in the freshman, sophomore, and junior class as well.
Who is your second string quarterback?
Well, it changes almost weekly. It was Kelby Canella. Connor Russell took some snaps, and then Coach Gates, Tucker Gates, he's getting reps at their quarterback, and then Tanner Swinford. So we got some kids that we got to develop, and I think there's some good ones coming down the road.
How'd you guys come through as far as injuries tonight?
Chris Spears is a little banged up, but he was walking there towards the end. So we'll look at him and evaluate him in the morning and get him ready. Try to get him ready to play next week.
So now as you look forward to Aurora, they had a big win last week, but tonight Nevada was getting them pretty strong at halftime.
Yeah, we know Nevada's a good football team, so it's not We just got to watch film, break it down, see what they do in offense, see what they do in defense. And I watched a little bit of Mount Vernon Aurora the other day, and they do some unique things on defense. So we're going to have our hands full, but we just got to have a good week of preparation. And the same thing, as I said all the time, is you just got to worry about what we can control. Yeah. We can't control Aurora. We can't control us. And so just like this week, our kids were really motivated and just finding, motivation to play good against Strafford after what happened last year. And so they came out and played well. So we'll find something to get these guys ready to go next Friday.
And game's a lot easier when you don't give up sacks and you don't turn it over very much. You had one turnover tonight.
Yeah, that's what the three areas that we've talked about is, we don't, turnovers, we're going to force them, but we don't give them up, and then missed tackles and then penalties. And so we changed some of our cadence, cleaned some stuff up there on offense. Still had a couple holding calls, but I'll make sure that we correct that this week.
Okay, so the biggest question of the night, have you found a kicker now?
Well, Oscar does a really good job. I don't know if it's the rain that kind of messed him up or what was going on. So he was down a little bit, but still did really well in the offensive line for us. And Eddie was booting that thing all the way down to the goal line. So we got a couple of different options we can use back there. But obviously you want to kick it further than 10 yards.
Well, I better let you go here, but I will say this: you never know what you're going to see in a game, and we saw 4 kickoffs go out of bounds in the same quarter.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, but especially when you're like, hey, let's clean up, and then all of a sudden your special teams are kicked going out of bounds and guys fumbling punt returns, and you're like, man, just wish there was one week where everything, all facets, but fortunately our offense and defense played well, and you don't want to see those things, but I did like seeing our defense with their backs against the wall, stand up and stop them on those drives.
Absolutely. Well, big game for you guys tonight, and fun one for us to call. We hope that you have a great week of prep, and we'll see you over to Aurora.
All right. Hey, we'll see you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. That's Coach Mock. We'll be back after this. Back to the Angus Branch Steakhouse postgame show. Be sure to stop by Angus Branch and try one of their mouth-watering steaks or signature sandwiches. A reminder that tonight's visit with Coach Mock was sponsored by the team at Four State Dental Care, where they ensure a beautiful smile at an affordable price. A reminder also that the Monett Cubs broadcast team is sponsored by A-List Properties. For all your real estate needs, their team will work hard for you and your family. Tonight's postgame scoreboard brought to you by MetaPlans Plus. MetaPlans Plus offers Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplement plans, Medicare Part D plans, dental, vision, and hearing plans, and much, much more. Call 417-678-5555 for more information. And I'll turn it over to Ryan as he looks at some of tonight's scores.
I think we just got to kick it off and start with the game of the week of probably the entire state. Nixa versus Webb City. It's the two big dogs. It's been the king at the top of the hill versus the new dog. And it was a 28-20 final score. Nixa Eagles beat the Webb City Cardinals. Going down another game, Seneca versus Mount Vernon. I said Tom Cox is hard to beat 2 weeks in a row. It happened. It was all Indians, 42-3 against Mount Vernon. 0-2 start for the Mountaineers. Lamar versus East Newton. Lamar doesn't lose twice in a row. The Tigers win 42-6. That's the final score there at that one. Carthage, Ozark, the last update was in the fourth quarter. Carthage leads it 49-21 over Ozark. Nevada versus Aurora. That's the one Cubs fans got to have an eye on. They play the Hound Dogs next week, and it was all Tigers from kickoff to end. Nevada wins it 49-0. I'm going to save the next game. Marshfield is going to defeat Reed Springs. They lead it 28-6 in the fourth quarter. Lebanon up 35-20 over Joplin. That's a big one. This one was not in our games, but I am going to mention it because they've really started to come alive as a program. Neosho at Kickapoo. Neosho leads 35-6. That's a third quarter score.
Wow.
So Neosho's really been getting it going the last few years down there. All right, Benji. Your Clever Blue Jays, last update. Oh, I just had them. They were up 19-0 at the half over Cuba.
Wow.
And then McDonald County and Cassville. Little ball game down there. Final score 35-20. Mustangs start the year 2-0 after a rough last season.
You called it. You said they were going to be much improved, and it appears that they are.
I told you, I know the head coach there. He's a great coach. Last year had a lot of young guys. Their quarterback this year, you'll have a familiar last name to you. Last name's Martin. His brother was Cole Martin, who took them to the district title for the first time in, I think, ever for him. And, so now the younger brother is at the helm of quarterback.
Well, there you go. So, well, congratulations all to tonight's winners tonight, all of the winners tonight. And the Cubs a big winner tonight as they win it 70-0 here against Strafford. Here's a look at post-game stats this evening for the Strafford Indians. They ran the ball 35 times for -4, so there's a big key there. 8 of 18 passing for 51 yards, so the Indians finished with 47 yards of total offense. They were able to put together 9 first downs. 4 turnovers, however, really hurt their cause. 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. They had 3 penalties for 23 yards and 6 punts for a 25.3-yard average. For the Monett Cubs, who improved to 1-1 on the season, they ran the ball 14 times for 157 yards. The Washick, 17 of 29, passing tonight for 302 yards, so total yardage at 459 for the Cubs this evening. 19 first downs, only 1 turnover, that on a punt return, and 13 penalties for 88 yards. Individually for the Cubs, they were led on the ground by Antoine Smith, 114 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Colin Umfleet with 30 yards on 2 carries, and Seitz came in with a 13-yarder in the second half. Dylan Washick, 17 of 29, no interceptions this evening, as he hit 7 different receivers in this contest, led by Carson Nesselrode, who had 8 catches for 120 yards to go along with Braden Seitz with 2 catches for 55 yards and a score. Antoine Smith, 37 yards and a touchdown. Alex Meeks, 2 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. Colin Umfleet, 15-yard touchdown reception. Miles Young, a 13-yard catch as well. And Eli Esquina with a catch this evening for the Cubs. So
Dylan's got to be leading the state in passing still.
Well, according to
Max
Max
Preps.
Preps, he was ranked #1 in the state after last week's performance. And if you add 302 more yards, I'd say if he's not leading it, I'd like to know who is.
Yeah,
So,
and someone must have had a heck of a week this week if they were managed to pass him.
yeah, it's
Off to a great start for him. And like Coach Mock said last week when Dylan made a couple mistakes, he came to the sideline and goes, yeah, I know what I did. He knew what he needed to clean up. Some of those week 1 mistakes, and it seemed like he cleaned it up this week.
Reminder, tonight's postgame scoreboard brought to you by MetaPlans Plus. We're going to slip away one final time, and when we come back, Ryan and I will talk about players of the game tonight. We already know one of them. I let the cat out of the bag on one of them, and we will wrap things up, and we'll also preview Week 3 at Aurora. We'll be back with more of our postgame show after this timeout. To the Angus Branch Steakhouse postgame show, be sure to stop by Angus Branch and try one of their mouth-watering steaks or signature sandwiches. Tonight's player of the game or players of the game brought to you by Heritage Tractor, your local John Deere dealer with various locations in the area. It's a great time to buy a tractor, so be sure to stop in for great deals and low financing. Tonight's players of the game, I'll go ahead and start on the offense, and I'm going to start with the tailback Antoine Smith tonight. He only touched the ball 11 times on the ground, but ran for 114 tonight and 3 touchdowns. And but there's a reason for that, the guys up front. So I want to say tonight's players of the game on offense are Antoine Smith and the guys up front, Mercado, Garcia, Martinez, Hinojosa, and Serrano. Those guys not only created big holes for the running back, but they protected their quarterback very well. Dylan Washik was seldom touched tonight.
Yeah, the offensive line did a great job. Antoine Smith did very well. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground, added another one through the air. I mean, how could you not be pleased with his performance? 4 total touchdowns. That's a heck of a night.
It absolutely is. On the defensive side,
I got to go Tucker Anderson from start to finish. He was flying around the backfield. He was wrapping up the ball carrier. Multiple tackles for loss. So I'd go Tucker Anderson tonight. Close second, though, I would say Chris Calhoun. He was putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback as well and getting tackles for loss.
and for the first time that I can remember, we're going to give a special teams player of the game, and we're going to go with Edgar Mercado.
Edgar Mercado.
Because he settled down the kicking game here tonight and actually did a really, really good
and
job.
honestly, you could probably contribute a lot of that shutout to him because he stopped giving him short field.
Absolutely, and did a really, really good job coming in on. Wasn't even the backup kicker tonight. He was kicker number 4, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was the 4th kicker. That's correct.
So, congratulations to all those kids. Could have gave out, bouquet of roses to every player tonight. They played very, very well and a big win for the Cubs tonight. Now let's talk about Week 3 in Aurora. Aurora posted a big win in Week 1 against the Mountaineers, and that kind of surprised us. We really thought Mount Vernon might win that game. They didn't, and then Aurora won a late game there, and then they took on Nevada, and Nevada brought them back down tonight. Nevada just really good
ball team. Yeah, Nevada's looking really good this year to start out. Also, Week 1, things can happen. You're not your full team yet. That's between Aurora and Mount Vernon. Also, on top of that, a big rivalry game. Throw everything out the window at that point because nothing matters. Anything goes in that game, especially Aurora and Mount Vernon, how they feel about each other. So now Aurora kind of coming in with a little bit of question marks now after that big defeat against Nevada.
And Ryan, I have told you this since I met you. There are certain games on the Monett schedule that just go back forever. Monett Mount Vernon was always a big one, and Aurora Mount Vernon was a big one, and Monett Aurora was always a big one. That triangle of schools used to just knock out, drag out all the time, and it's getting back to that, and it's good to see Aurora and Mount Vernon on the schedule every year again.
I agree.
So these rivalry games are really important. And going over to Kelly Field, it's a different place. It's just a different place. And the Cubs are going to have to play well to get a win next week.
They are. They're going to have to come ready to play. You cannot start slow over there at Aurora because the Hound Dogs are going to come ready to play. They're going to have a rocking environment. There's going to be a lot of fans there. They're kind of like Castle where they'll kind of sit anywhere. They'll kind of bring their lawn chairs and they'll sit around the field. It's awesome. It's a great environment, but you got to come ready to play and go win.
The first time I went over there broadcasting with Leonard Bauer, who we all knew and loved, he told me it was a very difficult place to throw the ball because it's so, it's got that huge crown. And I kind of, Leonard, and the first play from scrimmage, Monett threw a pass and overshot the intended receiver over on the sideline. Well, when you started looking at it, the crown was so much, you almost have to throw the ball on almost a downward trajectory if you're throwing it laterally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was a believer after that, so I never owe Leonard him ever again. But it's going to be a good rivalry. Both teams are coming in 1-1. Monett's coming in on a high note, though.
Yeah, Monett's coming with a lot of confidence. Aurora might have a few question marks now. If you're the Cubs, that's where you like to be. If you're Aurora, you got to come out fast and answer some of your own questions. A week of preparation is going to be very big for both these teams in this game.
So now we said it's usually second or third week before you start looking at the Big 8 conference, but Nevada's a good team.
Nevada's a great team.
Seneca's
still a good team.
Okay. McDonald County is a
Legit.
surprise good,
McDonald
but they're
County
legit.
is legit. Big 8 always has a surprise.
Yeah. So they're there. So who's the next team to make the move? Is it going to be a Monett that makes the move to join those guys?
You didn't mention the big one.
Which was
You
Lamar.
left out Lamar Tigers. How could
Yeah.
you ever
Well,
forget
you know,
the great Lamar Tigers?
That's right. Well, that's true. So there's the top four. I mean,
Right
you
now.
would think.
Right
now. Well, is Monett the next team to challenge those?
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Yeah. So
Why not? It's one thing my coach always said, why not us?
why not you? And why not the Cubs? And, you know, big win tonight. And it's a game tonight the Cubs should have won.
Absolutely.
You know, they should have won, but they won it the right way as far as execution.
It didn't look sloppy.
Right. They took care of turnovers. They cut down some on the penalties. They tackled better. They controlled the line of scrimmage. Those are things you want to see from your team.
Absolutely.
So, good night from Burrowfowler for sure for these kids, and I know they'll enjoy that. Any other thoughts before we wind things down, Ryan?
It's going to be an exciting week, and I'm looking forward to getting over to Aurora.
You have an update on the Chiefs?
They were down, I believe, 20-18.
Well, that's
in the
not
fourth
good.
Quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2018, under 6 to play.
That's a lot of time.
Especially when you have Mr. Magic behind center.
Yeah.
27-18 now. 5 minutes left.
Not looking good then.
Year 2 Harbaugh is a different coach. Year 2 Harbaugh is always amazing.
Yeah. Yes. He for
Every
whatever
stop he's been to, you look at year 2, there is a drastic jump.
Yeah. Well, putting 27 points up against a good defense and holding the Chiefs to 18, that's pretty good. Of course, there's still a few minutes left, so we'll see what happens there too. But long season, boy, and they're thinking about making the football season longer for the pros.
Yeah, I mean, they just went to 17. Wasn't sure how I felt about that. Now it might go to 18.
Yeah. And we'll see if the players' union allows that to happen. But, you know, it's an interesting time of the year. Football is in the air at the high school, college, and pro level. The big games tomorrow for the Tigers and the Sooners. We'll see how that that goes.
Hopefully we're both happy after.
I hope so. You know, and you know, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know. You probably don't recognize the name Norm Stewart, but he was a basketball coach for MU for 30-plus years. All right. He taught the state how not to like Kansas because when there were times I think he literally had his players dress in Columbia, drive to Kansas, and go straight to the court and leave right afterwards. And I know for a fact he never spent a dime in Kansas. They didn't stop to eat. They didn't stop to get gas.
I blame him.
So he taught the state how to not get along with the Jayhawks for sure. So, well, that's going to about wrap it up. A few things to remind everyone that the score of any contest is generally forgotten over time. However, the action of players, coaches, and fans leave lasting impressions. Be sure to choose good sportsmanship as you cheer on your favorite team. This message brought to you by Access Family Care, with more than 200 employees serving 7 counties in southwest Missouri. Be sure to catch the Coach Mock Show next Friday evening right here on KKBL. Coach Mock will sit down with Sammy Clapper to discuss tonight's contest as well as preview next week's game. The Coach Mock Show can be heard right here on KKBL 95.9 FM right before our pregame show next Friday evening. As we come to the end of tonight's broadcast, I'd like to thank all of the fine people here at Monett High School for their help and hospitality this evening and all season long. A special thanks goes out to all of our sponsors who make our broadcasts possible. We could never do any of these broadcasts without your support. As fans, I encourage you guys to get out and visit these local businesses and let them know how much they are appreciated. Finally, a big thank you to all our listeners out in Cubs Nation. Thanks for being with us each and every Friday night during the season. Just a reminder that our next football broadcast will be coming your way next Friday evening as the Cubs take on the Aurora Hound Dogs. Pregame is set to begin at or around 6:25 with kickoff scheduled at 7 p.m. Once again, our final score from the stadium tonight, Monett 70, Strafford for my broadcast partner, Ryan McCullough, and our producer engineer, Erwin Perez. And by the way, he's best in the business. The guy does a great job getting the game on MonettWebTV.com. This is Benji Fensky saying thanks for following the Cubs and good night from Burl Fowler.